Oh, shit.
Cheers,
Crabman in the house.
What's
Cheers.
going on? Cheers to the Crabman.
Yeah.
It's good to have him here, man. It's really taken a it's taken a lot to get here, man. And it feels so good to have him here.
It feels so good. It's been a long fucking day of fucking with some technical difficulties, but my man, the Crabman, he was right. King Crab.
King Crab.
Hey,
it's
King
it's
Crab
a
was
it's an
right.
honor to have you here, man. Cheers. Really
How
excited.
does it feel to be on the world's biggest podcast?
Yeah, bigger than Joe Rogan Experience. You know, fuck them.
Feels real good.
Yeah, you're the first ever.
Yeah.
We knew you were going to be the first guest.
You're
As soon
our
as
first.
we talked about it, it was like, okay, well, who's after Brent? Was the not that you have something to live up to, but it's just excited to. We knew that it was you.
To
You know?
beat John Michael is a huge accomplishment.
Oh, I like
yeah,
that. I
yeah,
really like
yeah.
that.
John Michael was like, yeah, he's up there. He's gonna come up soon. So, yeah, it's fun.
Shout out John Michael.
So the day started
shout out
out.
John
You know,
Michael.
you really came through with like the big brew collar experience. You came to the lunch where we start drinking at 11:30, 12 o'clock. You come back to the house. You keep drinking. We all having a good time. We watched the UFC fights, which kind of shocked me with
Oh, man, O'Malley.
And you put some money down on it.
Lost some money on it. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah. It was fun. It was fun.
Should have won it.
Should have won.
Should have won some money on it.
You were so close to winning it too because you had Aljamain Sterling. You had him in round 2 or round 3 with submission, but also he had the over. You had the over on takedowns.
He had no round. It was Aljamain gets 3 takedowns and wins by submission, and he won by TKO. He had like 5 takedowns.
I didn't lose that much because I went all in on the safe bet.
Oh yeah, sure. You went all in on the 2 takedowns.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
True, which was a good move, and he had what 5, I think.
Oh, I still
Yeah,
lost.
like
I
5.
still lost.
You lost like $5.
Yeah, it happens. But honestly, there was a point to where like you had put the money down on like the specific bet that okay, you needed the 2 or 3 takedowns, and then you needed a submission from Sterling in the second or third round, and you had 2 takedowns in the first round, and you was like, oh man, here we go. Like this is setting up, but it was just too good from Sterling.
Arguably 3-4 first round.
Yeah,
Takedowns.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
3 or 4
So
takedowns. in the
depends on
first
how they
round.
scored it.
Yeah. So I have to say, dude,
It's been a good fucking day.
it's been a
And
crazy.
it's only
day.
gonna get
One more
better.
cheers. One more cheers.
Hey,
One more
yeah,
cheers.
cheers.
Hey,
Hey.
dude, guys. Cheers, guys.
It's fucking good to be here.
It is. So what are you guys drinking?
So this is actually a beer that Brent got for us. It's a Goose Island. Okay. 6.5%. It tastes like a hazy. I don't know what it is.
Secret
Secret beer hug.
I will
Hazy
say,
IPA.
yeah, Goose Island. I
They're
don't like their pale ale, but everything
yeah,
else
it
I love.
sucks. But this shit is good. It's like, and if you guys don't know what Goose Island's pale ale is, it's like it's the fucking green box that says Goose Island on it. It's the green can that says IPA.
Yeah,
It is the most. It's just so much grapefruit.
yeah.
Brent, have you ever had their IPA?
No, that's why I got it. I never had it before.
Okay, so yeah, their hazies are really fucking good, but they sell them like packs of 15, like little 15 cases, but it's just not that good.
I may have had it. I mean, sometimes I just grab like IPA.
Whichever IPA, you kind of grab it, try it out. Yeah,
I like that.
that's kind of where we're at.
There's a lot of
now.
people around. I don't want to be that guy that's like looking.
Oh, yeah, because
Pondering.
Isn't that weird when you're in the grocery store and you're like both? You can tell that you were there first, but like the person beside you is like, I'm kind of looking at the noodles, but they're not trying to really look at the noodles. Like, oh, let me look at this Asian hot sauce that I'm not going to buy.
yeah, right.
And they're like kind of in your area because you can kind of feel their
You want that
presence
motherfucker to leave.
trying to get in. Yeah.
But that's the polite awkwardness thing to do.
But I will buy the Asian hot sauce to really sell it.
Really? You'll do it? You'll really lean in?
I've got fish sauce.
Fish sauce is delicious.
I've never had. It's still in the fridge.
You mean like a tartar sauce or like an
fish-
Old Bay,
fish sauce.
like a seasoning?
No, it's like an
fish sauce.
Asian fish sauce.
It's literally sauce, and it smells like a fish.
Really?
I'm in the Oriental aisle. Some Orientals come up.
You're like, oh, I'll just take
panic.
this. I think
So
I'll
what-
make it like this.
What you guys are gonna have to do
Described it.
next time that Gabby's family does like a big fucking cook-off, y'all have to come over and have some of their stuff they put fish sauce in.
Really?
Most of
I've
them.
never
They
had
do,
like
so
fish sauce.
they're Thai, so they do like the fucking big Thai Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
That sounds good.
It's fucking amazing.
I wasn't even looking, but Orientals come up. I turn. I grab.
Fish sauce is a good choice.
Yeah, no, I just grabbed.
You just grabbed?
Because I wanted them to, hey.
He's actually, okay, I'm not,
Yeah.
he's not imposing on me.
Right.
I can relax. You want to comfort people. That's
For
a good
sure.
trait. Like, it's a good trait, but you're also kind of like a slave to that.
No,
Like, versus like going in and getting it, like you sacrifice time
I
in a way of
this
like,
is that was 100% except me.
I'm not a poser. I swear I'm not a poser. Look at this. I'm buying fish sauce. Written and directed by Quentin Tarantino.
dude, what a shirt.
I like it. I like
when you
it.
pulled up, I was like, that is the shirt.
That is
Oh,
the
yeah.
perfect shirt.
Love it.
Yeah,
dude.
Had to wear it.
So he calls me and he's like, "Hey man, I think I'm in the like right near where the slice is because that's where we ate the slice in Simpsonville. You guys should 100% check that
Really
place
good.
out."
Yeah, really good.
I don't want to go too in detail where it's at, but you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he calls me. He's like, "Hey, where's it at?" I was like, "I'll come out the door and I'll holler at you." And as soon as he comes out, I'm holding the door for him, and I look at Sean and I go, "Just wait till you see what shirt this motherfucker."
Oh yeah,
got
yeah.
on."
I'm inside and he's holding the door for you, and I'm like, he looks at me and goes, "Just wait till you see the shirt." And I saw it, I was like, yes.
That's perfect, man.
Written and directed by Quentin Tarantino. What's your favorite Quentin movie?
Got to be Django.
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 I love Django, dude.
Glorious Bastards. Reservoir Dogs.
There's like 6 left.
I know, but
Kill
it's
Bill.
Kill Bill is definitely up there.
I kind of expected Kill Bill a little sooner because of the color of the shirt. I'm not gonna lie.
That's
Yeah.
a good point. That's a good point.
That's why I got it.
I like it. I respect that.
That yellow jumpsuit. That
Oh
like,
man, that's fucking sick.
oh dude,
And it's got the blood on it. So it's
Yeah.
got
I
all
wanted
those
the
stains.
blood. I wanted
Oh,
the
that'd have been
blood,
cool.
yeah, that would have been really cool.
But it's a good time, man. It's always a good time when king crab's around.
Yeah, we were talking about downstairs. We had a little debate on whether or not a shower beer
I mean, do you have a problem?
means you have a problem. Like, okay, you get home. Okay, I'll at least I'll pitch my side because me and the Crabman, we were kind of debating and we were like, okay, let's save it because I don't really know his side of this story, or this side of his point of view on this. But I feel like a shower beer is kind of like more of like I get home, let's relax a little bit. It doesn't necessarily mean you have a problem, but like you get home and it's like here's my lane. Here's my lane. I get home, well, okay, let's have a beer. I'll grab a beer, pop a top, start drinking a little bit. I'll drink like not even a quarter of it. Talk to Heather, tell her how my day was. Go upstairs. I'm putting some music on, having a couple beers. While I'm in the shower, I'll have like 2 or 3 sips. I'll keep it on the outside of the shower. Have a couple sips. Get out. I'm like doing all my like let me put my brush my teeth, whatever, and have a couple sips. And by the time I make it back down, I have 1 beer down. The edge is a little bit off. You get
You get a little loose. How loose is your goose?
You get a little loose,
Your
and
goose has
you
gotta
get a
be
little
totally
relaxed.
loose.
And I'm like,
in the shower.
yeah, I'll bring it to the shower for sure.
You have
The fact that you say that's not a problem, that's
That's the
That's
problem.
the problem.
That's
So
the
what's the
problem?
problem?
You think
You
so?
That's
think the
not
problem
normal.
is that like
that's not
the problem
normal.
is like he can't wait until he just takes a shower and gets
Dude,
done.
if you can't take a shower without drinking a beer, you have a problem.
I can take a shower without drinking a
I
beer.
can too.
I just prefer to drink a beer while I'm taking
If you
a shower.
okay, if you drank a beer while you're taking a shower and you're not in college, in a frat house,
All right, let me paint a scenario
Yeah,
for you.
problem.
Let me paint a scenario for
you're
you.
getting off work. You're 30 years old, getting off work.
Hey, man.
Let me paint a scenario for you. So it's 4:00 on a Saturday, right? You're drinking. You're doing your thing, watching some college football.
Yeah.
6:00 rolls down. It's in the summer too, so it's hot. You got to cut the grass, but you don't want to do it when it's 90 degrees out. So you wait till about 6 or 7. You go outside, cut the grass when it's cooled off, but you got dirty. But you've been drinking all day, so you're not gonna hop in the shower and sober up. But you got to take a shower. So you're drinking your beer. It's like, well, I'm not gonna sit it out and let it get warm or kind of.
I'm drinking my beers outside in this scenario.
So you're gonna get in the shower with your beer.
No. I'm not going inside to take a shower. I'm drinking my beer while I'm doing the outdoor activity.
sure.
Exactly.
For
But
sure,
when you
for
finish
sure.
the outdoor activity, you got to take a shower
And then you take a shower.
with your beer.
What if you you're in like ultimate buzz form? You're like, I'm feeling kind of good. I want to keep
10
this
minutes.
going. It's like 4:00 on a
Have
Saturday.
you ever? So you're saying you never had a shower beer?
No.
Really?
So what I'm telling you is you need to have a shower
you should
beer.
try it out.
All right. So look, next
Try
time,
it out.
next time you get
That's
home from
fun.
work, look, and it's an efficiency thing too. It's
It-
like next
it
time,
really is.
next time you get home from work, you want a beer, you need a shower.
So
Do
you're
them both.
wanting to get to that tipsy level really quick.
No, not exactly. You just
mean-
want a beer and you need to take a shower.
It's like
so-
I kind of like the taste and like
True.
in a way, yeah, I kind of want to get to like where I'm more relaxed. Yeah, that's
It's
the purpose
relaxing,
of
yeah.
like having a beer at the end of the day. You kind of want to feel a little bit more relaxed. But it's not necessarily like I want to get drunk or I want to get tipsy fast. It's just like you get home, there's a little bit of satisfaction in like having a beer at the end of the week. It's just like, oh, it's time to I can really cut loose right now.
And so maybe I think what he's kind of getting at too is that like if you're drinking by yourself, do you have a problem?
No.
Why not?
I mean, I could apply the same logic.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm agreeing
saying,
with. Yeah.
Because, I just don't think you have, like, I think you can drink by yourself and not have a problem.
So how was that any different than drinking in the shower?
There's a time and a place. And
I kind of respect it from what he's coming from. And I don't, I've never been one to drink on myself. Like, by myself, I can. I think that when you, like, start bringing in liquor, it's kind of tough. Like, drinking liquor by yourself seems like some things that might not be going right here.
But see, liquor gets you there a little quicker.
It does, but like there's like if you're trying to get there quicker and you're chasing that butt, I don't know, man. For me, maybe it's just my own personal experiences.
Take the edge off.
You do,
and so
that's the quickest way to do it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
but you're talking about efficiency,
right?
Fair.
Yeah, I guess what I'm really thinking is like whenever I drink the beer, I'm drinking it to relax after work. I'm not gonna drink a 12-pack after work. I'm gonna drink 2 or 3 beers of a 6-pack. Have a good, like a small buzz, a little 2 or 3 beer buzz, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm done. I'm going to do whatever. I'm going to eat dinner, go to bed.
Brent, have you ever been a guy who can drink a beer and just go to bed? Just drink one beer and be done? Or are you a guy who, like, when you have that beer, you have to chase it with maybe like 3 or 4 more?
So I'm a social drinker.
I'm the same way.
So, like, I rarely drink by myself. It does happen. Or if I go to a Mexican restaurant.
Okay, that's fair.
That's fair. Let me get a
me get a
$2
large Dos
Ducatis.
Equis.
Large Dos Equis works too.
With a big ass lime. It's just,
oh man,
and it makes a pool on the fucking table because it's covered in ice.
Yeah,
the guy with the mug is.
Oh, it's another one.
Oh damn,
another one.
Another one.
Damn, we doing this. Oh yeah.
You remember that? Yeah, that's nice, dude.
I'm just fucking excited to have the Crabman here.
Dude, it is. I'm really excited to be.
It's a good time, man. It's been a good time all day. We got to watch the fights. The Gamecocks, they in the game right now.
They were winning last week. Looked like 14 and 17.
I'll pull that shit up right now. I want to see the score.
But
y'all keep talking.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. When I saw the Quentin Tarantino shirt, I was like, okay, here he comes. He's gonna bring these because you were telling me downstairs that Dr. Schultz is one of your favorite characters.
Dr. King Schultz, Django. Yep. I mean, it's the best written character.
You think so? See, I love Christoph Waltz. To me, is one of my favorite actors of all time, and I feel like Django was just off those 2 movies. I mean, Django and Inglourious Basterds, but with Inglourious Basterds, I really connected to his character more and kind of really loved his character a little bit more than I did Dr. Schultz and Django because there was a presence with Hans Landa that when he walked into the room, you was like, oh my God. It's
you
tense.
felt it.
You felt the pressure. And I don't think Dr. Schultz ever brought that, but he kind of brought a sense of, he brought a different presence of almost like a witty. He was very witty.
Yeah, for sure.
No matter what was said or the situation he was in, he was going to, just with his intelligence, and charisma, he would work his way out of it. That was the beauty of Dr. Schultz.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the acting of Christoph Waltz and the directing of Quentin Tarantino was just all a beautiful moment. When he got into those situations to where he, could pull it off with charisma.
Yeah, exactly.
And the wittiness. But
and then him playing with Jamie Foxx too. Really, it was just such a good fucking combo of characters playing together.
Yeah. So in other words, Marshall, you owe me $200.
Yeah,
that was one of my favorite lines in that movie.
Yeah. I have a guy I really would like to have on the podcast, in the future. Glover, he's in one of our fantasy leagues.
Shout out Glover.
His perspective. He's in both, yeah.
Glover's Raiders.
Shadow King.
Yeah.
Shadow King.
Yeah. So he would really like to see Django. He doesn't like the movie Django, but he's a big Quentin fan, big time movie critic.
Spoiler alert's coming up.
And spoiler alert is coming up for the movie Django, but at the end, when Dr. Schultz reaches out to this, I can't resist. I couldn't resist, and boom, pops Leo's character. My buddy Glover argument was like, yeah, it just doesn't make sense for Dr. Schultz's character. He was like, Dr. Schultz's character would have. He's so smart, and he set up all that for Brimhilda and Django to get them out. He was so smart, he would have never made that decision.
That's a very good
And he
point.
said that Leo's character, Candy, what was his name? Because it was Candyland. Calvin Candy. Calvin Candy would have never had. He would have been the one to make the decision because he just got ripped off. He just got played a little bit. Not necessarily ripped off. He got the money. He got overpaid.
Right.
But he got duped, which was like an ego trip for him because he made the big, slams his hand down on the table, breaks his hand, blood's running down, and he's, the improvising moment of Leonardo DiCaprio.
Him and Kerry Washington.
Yes, and like he was already pissed because Samuel L. Jackson's character
They blew it. He found out.
It. He was like, "I got you. Yeah, I got you." And yeah, he just for a rich man to have gotten someone had got over on the rich man, he would have been more likely to shoot Christoph Waltz's character and kill him, and that's what broke out in the fight scene.
So, where I would challenge Mr. Glover is that's the first time you see Dr. King Schultz lose in wit. So it's the first time he's outwitted.
I like that.
And every time his character is faced with a challenge, he outwits it. But Calvin Candy
got the best of him.
Got the best.
He didn't know how to act.
His plan didn't work. He didn't know how to act.
I like that.
Well, if you insist.
If you insist, you really want me to shake your hand? If you must insist. And he.
It's so good. Such a good scene.
Oh man, amazing!
I want that gun.
The little wrist, popper.
So I've always
concealed carry.
That would be nice to just have
right?
that, like, just to just have that on you. And if someone really pissed you
if
off,
you insist.
all right,
I've always said that whenever I build a house, I want to have the basement from Inglourious Bastards as like a little bar for my basement.
Oh, that would be cool.
Oh yeah.
Like that would be so cool, right?
Yeah.
And then you can play charades and shit. And
No. There's only one game you can play in there.
what's that?
That's the
the head.
What's the name of that game?
I don't know the name.
I think.
I mean, charades is kind of the
The
same
name-
thing.
It's a playoff of charades.
The name now is called Heads Up.
Heads up. That's what I was
But
thinking. I was like, that's not
There,
it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
They
know
called
what
it Heads
is.
Up. Then you think? Seems a very modern name for
I don't
a.
know. But remember, they had the pistol.
Yeah, I've got my gun pointed right at your dick. That's basically what he said.
Man, you know who's
that dude.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
such
Quentin does so well.
the
This-
German versus the.
the details.
versus that.
He really plans everything out. He was
That's
talking.
his best movie. Like as far as
This is his greatest movie.
how much time he spent
100%.
in depth.
Yeah.
and like tying everything together.
It's his greatest film.
Yeah.
I think. And I think that like Pulp Fiction, you give Pulp Fiction its due because it's fucking Pulp Fiction.
That's his last. I mean, that's the last on my list.
Pulp Fiction's
That's
last on the
okay,
list.
but to me, I think it's number 2. It's such a phenomenal film. Well, I'm kind of curious as why don't you like Pulp Fiction?
Like the storyline doesn't make sense. It
Really?
doesn't progress like I feel like a good story should. It goes nowhere. You have the anal rape scene for
It was so strange. It was
no
kind of a
reason
shock factor. It was a
at
shock
all.
factor. Yeah.
And I mean, maybe in 1990 he's breaking a genre. You know what I mean?
I feel like he was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He was
just
breaking
like-
through for sure.
Maybe that's why, but I didn't like it. I mean,
That's fair. I mean,
Yeah.
it was kind of like a shock factor thing.
it had good characters, but
For sure.
I just
But, like, the beauty of-
storyline, I didn't like it.
But I'll tell you what the beauty of that is, and you tell me what you guys think about this, is like, a lot of movies come out, especially in the 80s, it was like, okay, good cop, bad cop, like very black and white. Like, it felt like it was, I don't know, like kind of like a right versus wrong.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Point Break type movies. And you kind of like knew the blueprint of movies at that time. And then all of a sudden you have Quentin coming in who's like, he brings in a factor of like,
It's not even in chronological order.
when you plug in this movie, you have no idea what's coming next. Like, there's no blueprint to. You never expected that
Right.
the anal rape scene. You never expected
True.
that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, oh my God, like that's like maybe that is shock factor, like you're saying, but maybe there's some beauty into like
Into anal rape. Of course I'm going to say it, man. That's a fucking Brew Collar podcast. We say what we want to say.
maybe
Cheers.
there's
Cheers to say whatever the fuck we want to say.
Yeah.
maybe there's some beauty in like a little bit of shock factor, like you don't know what's coming
That's
next.
true.
You know,
So I know we talk about Quentin so fucking much.
we really do.
and we could do it all day. But what are some
As
other?
we should.
That's fair. That's fair.
As we should.
As we
But
should.
What are
As
some
we
What are some
should.
other directors that like you really enjoy watching? Is there anybody that like stands out to you, or like specific movies, like anything like that?
So, I mean, he doesn't get enough credit, but
Okay.
I like Rob Reiner.
Okay.
Okay.
Like Few Good Men is probably one of my.
A Few Good Men. Oh man, is that the one?
Tom
with
Cruise.
Tom
You
Cruise.
can't
You
handle
can't
the truth.
handle the
Yeah.
truth. And Jack Nicholson.
I want the truth.
Yeah, I want the truth. You can't handle the truth,
That's so good.
dude. That
Who the
scene,
fuck is PFC
So good.
Santiago?
dude. That whole scene is
The
so
opening
intense.
line for
Yeah.
Nicholas
Yes, Nicolas Cage to me is
or
like
Nicholson. Sorry.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Why did I just
I
say
don't know.
Nicholson
Nicholas.
Cage? Did I just say
I don't know.
Nicholson
It was,
Cage?
it was that thing you were talking about the other day where you kind of blend into whatever the other person's saying.
Oh yeah, maybe.
That's it. That's part of it.
I said
just said
Nicholas.
Nicholson
I
Cage.
said
Nicolas Cage.
I said Nicholas.
Jack Nicholson. Yeah, he really had that like moment, and like he brings the intensity to the courtroom, and you know how good Tom Cruise is. Like his character in that movie, he's like up and coming. He's very smart. He's the new hotness. You like
Right,
he's the
yeah.
new hotness.
It's Tom Cruise.
It's
man.
fucking Tom
with
Cruise.
his fucking middle tooth.
Yeah, he's like in his prime,
That fucking
and then he
middle
brings
tooth.
forward this awesome case. He's very like, you know, he's got very emotional. He's very like, he's putting it all out there, you know, because I want the truth. And then Jack Nicholson is like, he's the one being testified, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. He's on trial,
Yeah.
and like he's like, I want the truth. I want the truth. He's like, you can't handle the truth.
Yeah,
You know, like
dude, what a
you get to
fucking
sleep at
movie.
night because of guys like me.
Like me.
Because
Oh,
I'm
man.
a monster.
Yeah,
Monsters like
I
me
have
are
tough,
on the wall.
Yeah, I have tough decisions to make, and this makes it easier for you to fucking have this cushy ass.
Oh,
life.
dude, so good.
So good.
You got a
And-
good life.
Dude,
Yeah.
okay, I could be wrong, but name another court movie before then
Oh, I can't do it.
Before then.
I can't. I don't think I can do it.
that was as good as A Few Good Men.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
I'm not.
What?
Ah.
To Kill a Mockingbird?
What do you think? Tell us why.
I mean, like that was such a iconic movie, as far as, especially because of the book.
Yeah.
Was I mean, it's in every school right now too.
Was that Edgar Allan Poe, right?
No,
Was that To Kill a Mockingbird? Or
But
am
To
I-
Kill a Mockingbird, I mean,
Dude,
you
my
know the story of
wife's-
To Kill a Mockingbird, right?
My wife is cussing me out right now. Yeah, I can't.
But
think
that's
of
like the
name.
most famous,
no.
iconic, like
You're right.
court scene movie.
You're right. You are right, but it doesn't hold up to A Few Good Men.
Why not?
I just don't think it does.
Like one thing you get from that you don't get from A Kill a Mockingbird is you don't get like a honest, like acted out, great directed film like you do with Jack Nicholson.
That's true. And
It's like you can kind of feel it a little bit more when you see it visually. It's in your face. It's
Yeah.
like, boom, there's Tom Cruise acting his ass off, making it emotional. And then there's Jack Nicholson who doubles down. You're like, damn.
they just like clash
Tom
off each
Cruise
other.
just made a really good point. How is he going to answer this?
Yeah.
And then, you want the truth? You can't handle the truth. And he
Yeah.
like lights into his character.
Right.
He lights into his ass. And it's like, damn,
And I think-
kind
but I
of
think
with
with, like,
him a little bit.
With To
you
Kill a
know?
Mockingbird, though, it was such like a touchy subject when the movie came out, anyways. So like the acting and the directing obviously isn't up to par with A Few Good Men.
Right,
but
right.
The emotion of the story being fucking real. I mean, that's shit that really fucking happened. Which obviously A Few Good Men is something that happens. But what's up?
You need a beer?
No, not right now. I'll get one in a second. But yeah, that's like, I mean, obviously both of those things happen, but it seems so much more real because we didn't get to grow up in that time, and like we hear so much of like the To Kill a Mockingbird situations, but that's like it's so real without the acting.
Okay.
I feel like the story is so much more realistic.
Yeah, are you a big book reader? You like books?
Yeah. So
I do need a beer.
What you want?
yeah,
Whatever.
I love books. I love audiobooks, but with each job, like the more responsibility I get in life, the less mental energy I have to read, and it kills me because I'm working through like 2 books right now, and probably 3 or 4, honestly.
What kind of books? You don't have to like go in depth. I'm just kind of curious.
Sadhguru, his newest book, Karma, a really good friend. Shout out Vince, bought it for me.
Okay, nice.
And I'm reading through what's it? And it's heavy. Marcus Aurelius' Meditation.
Okay. So
who is it that wrote the book?
Marcus Aurelius. He was Roman emperor. And,
okay.
Nice.
Stoic philosopher.
Okay, so I know you're a big like meditation, Sadhguru, like very like mental health guy. It seems like you kind of lean into like the Sadhguru is, what would you consider him a?
He was a break for me, and I think he was just a breath of fresh air for me. Like I've never heard anything like him at the time I needed it. And I think that's why it hit so hard for me.
Okay.
And so I talk to a lot of people. I recommend him to a lot of people. Doesn't stick. They judge him because he's Indian. He's
kind of like
he's a yogi. He's a guru.
Yeah.
And a lot
like
of people.
Spiritual Gandhi. I mean, I guess Gandhi was a
kind of
spiritual.
love guru.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like a lot of people, just judge him out the gate, and maybe it's not for them, Maybe it is for the people that are hurting and need that deeper connection and deeper understanding in life.
Go ahead.
That's everybody.
That's everybody.
Everybody
want
needs
that.
a deeper connection, understanding in life.
But Marcus Aurelius, the meditations, that was his personal journal, and he didn't think anybody was ever going to read that. Maybe he wanted his son to read it, to be, because his son was kind of crazy. But Marcus Aurelius Meditations, you guys have to read it. It's super short. I know you guys aren't readers, but it's super short. But dude, every sentence is jam packed.
So I used to be a reader. I was mostly like a fiction reader, like Stephen King and stuff like that. I was never really like a literature kind of guy.
Yeah.
Or like I was into philosophy and stuff. And
yeah.
I guess like more lately, the older I get, and the more I really start to want to like try to understand what I really want in life. That's where I really steer towards like, why do I think what I think? Why do I feel this way about certain topics, or why do I think that like, oh yeah, I should do this because that's like what the right thing to do is.
But what's technically the right thing to do? Like what the people around you has convinced you that the right thing to do is? That's one thing that I've really admired about you, and why I've really wanted to get you on the podcast is because you're, to me, what kind of brings, like, you're a free thinker. Like, CNN doesn't tell you what to think. Fox News doesn't tell you what to think. Like, social constructs or social norms doesn't tell you what to think. You have kind of reached out and found your own opinion on things, and I kind of like that. Like, I kind of see that quality in you, and I want to pull it out and kind of soak it into myself a little bit. I love that.
It is 9:40 p.m. now. I've got till 8 in the morning.
Oh, well, we can talk all night.
And you're gonna get some sleep.
Yeah, you'll get some sleep. You can stay here and go in the morning if you need to. We've had a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. We've had a lot to drink.
We started drinking at 11 or 12:30.
Yeah, so we've had a lot to drink today. We've watched the UFC fights. Half of the college football games, and it's just good to fucking be here. Cheers, fellas.
Hey, cheers.
Another cheers.
Yeah.
Another gabagool.
One of these, another gabagool. Damn, it's the Sopranos.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's gonna be one of these cheers is probably gonna be the thumbnail, but it might not be. You never know.
Yeah. It's just good to see a breath of fresh air when it comes to human beings that you see on a daily basis. People who just tend to just. I get it. We don't have time. Like, you have kids, you have family, you have friends, you have work. It's like sometimes you just tune in to what you want to hear.
Well, I'm told Buddha said that the path to peace is paved with bricks of pain.
Okay.
So normally your most peaceful people mentally have been through a lot. Now there are a few of these people that just have it. They just got it.
Okay.
Like your athletes, they're just born with it.
Yeah. Okay.
But a lot of people have to go through a lot of pain to
Yeah.
experience that peace. So I know you like to do a shout out to the people out there and give them a
I like to.
positive
I always
encourage.
love to get a good
But
shout
dude,
out.
if you are in pain, keep pressing, because that is, you are paving your way to peace.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, I love that quote.
Now, if you don't quit paving, what's the alternative?
Oh, you're just going to live in the pain.
Yeah.
And I feel like that relates so well.
But
to
there
what we-
is an end to that path, and it is extremely blissful and just freeing. So anybody out there that's struggling with any kind of depression, any that's hurting, just keep pressing. Just keep pressing. Keep doing what you know is the right thing to do. And because the other side is good. There is an end. There is an end to the pain.
I like that.
Yeah. I feel like that relates so much to what we talk about. We talk about anxiety
A
a
lot of stuff like that. Yeah, like
talk-
just
yeah.
battling with depression, becoming a better you.
But how do
in a sense.
you beat anxiety?
It's
Well,
tough,
we
man.
talk about anxiety a lot, but it's just like you said, keep pushing. It's like if you're not gonna actively just face your anxieties, face your fears, then you're gonna live in that pain. You're gonna live in that anxiety. So you have to push through. You have to push through your pain to get out of your pain. You got to push through your anxieties to get out of that.
Yeah, but some people don't have that ability. I mean, some people
really don't.
Some
They
people
really
don't. Some people need to be. Some people, like you're a teacher. You have to be taught, as it is a discipline. And again, some people are just naturally gifted in these things, and they just
Right.
And some people learn it the hard way. Some people teach themselves, but
I'll kind
but
of
there are
give
some
you.
people
Go
that
ahead,
just
sorry.
don't. They just don't have it, and they are in misery all the time. And it's not supposed to be that way. It's the best time to be alive.
It really is, because life is really about perspective. I mean, you and I have talked about this multiple times, Brian, and it really is about perspective. Like, if you constantly think about your life in a negative aspect, like every little thing, there's so many, just take a moment when you wake up, and every situation that you're dealt with that you think that you don't like, take that.
We've got a mess to clean up after this podcast.
Of course,
but,
there's multiple messes. Take that moment to think that
No, I'm good.
take that moment to think okay, is this really as bad as I think it is, or am I just is my perspective just off? Am I just creating it worse than it really is? Have I been has my life really built up to this moment to where I'm mad at this scam call or whatever? I mean, you can use example after example. So it's
Right.
am I really that mad? If someone cuts me off in traffic, is it really that big of a deal? You didn't end up in a car wreck. You don't have your kids with you. It's just you and someone cutting off who you saw cutting you off. You saw it. You backed up, or someone pulled out and you was speeding anyway. You was going 5 over and someone pulled out in front of you and you're like, "You fucking asshole." But I mean, is it do you really have to be outraged, or do you feel like you should be outraged because that's a common thing? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And I think a lot of times it's so hard to look at the bigger picture. At the end of the day, I didn't get in a wreck. I got home safely. I can go to work the next day. I can live my life. I can influence people, in a positive way. But people want to be so focused on here and now. Right now, it's hard. Oh, and that sucks. I want to cry about it. I want to complain. I want to be mad. I want to be pissed off, whatever. I want to cuss out the fucking guy. I want to shoot him a bird. Whatever it is, people want to live in the here and now, and they're so focused on what's happening to them right now. But it's hard sometimes to really be okay, at the end of the day, I've got to focus on the bigger picture and think in 10 years from now, will this fucking matter? Will this moment of this guy cutting me off matter?
In 3 days or 2
Exactly.
days, 3 hours will it matter?
Exactly. And so you got to look at life like that. yeah, I'm this person today, but if I work, you work slowly every day, you're going to get better. But you got to think 10 years from now, how am I benefiting the people around me? Because that's, at the end of the day, we're all going to die.
It doesn't.
How are we going to
yeah.
benefit the people around us?
Yeah.
Right.
And do you want to live?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And do you want to live your life in a way that like conforms to like what's popular or what's big, or do you want to set out on your own journey?
Hell no, that's why we're hipsters.
Yeah. Do you want to set out on your own journey and like figure things out for yourself? You know what I'm saying?
What you think? What you think about that tangerine?
It's okay. I wasn't expecting it. I just grabbed it.
Yeah,
And,
there you go.
I didn't know it was tangerine.
That's the one I picked up.
That's
Yeah,
the Stone. That's
yeah.
the Stone
It's
Tangerine Express.
definitely a hell of a lot better
Hazy
than pumpkin.
IPA.
That's for sure.
Oh, yeah, the Atomic Blumpkin.
Yeah. Is a pumpkin a fruit? Or it's
It's
got
got
to be.
seeds.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Okay, so Uncle L stopped by last night, and you know how that goes when he swings by.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so we
Well,
drank
we
about a
passed this
quarter
around
of that last night, and dude, it's just always hard to bounce back at the age of 30. I'm an old man, 30. I'm 30 now, so
We're
it's
passing
hard to
around-
bounce.
we're passing around the bottle.
It's hard to bounce back from drinking shots of Jaeger.
At
And
fucking
then,
1 in the morning.
And then the next day you start drinking at 12, and then all of a sudden it's 9, and you're drinking shots of Jaeger. So I was like, you know.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, the last time I drank 2 days in a row, I was sick for a week.
For a
Not like vomiting sick, like I had the cold for like a week. And I know it's because, like my body, it just doesn't recover. My immune system dropped. And I just
We need to take some of that cough medicine to make you feel better.
Yeah, that NyQuil. Get that NyQuil real quick.
Logo out.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
there
logo
it
out.
is.
You got to represent. Yeah.
This is free advertising for Jägermeister.
Yeah.
Oh, god dang, you got that shit.
Yeah,
There's a little bit left. Yeah, life is hard. Life is hard for
It
fucking
can
everyone.
be. And there's sometimes people make it harder on themselves than it needs to be.
But they don't know. Like some people just truly, they don't know how to live an easy life.
Now, what's
And-
the difference
and my-
between someone who doesn't know and someone who knows? They just are too stubborn. Getting their own way.
We watched fighting earlier. What's the difference between somebody that knows what they're doing in an octagon, somebody that doesn't?
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's
and
fair.
how messy it looks. It's easy to judge the person that doesn't know what they're doing.
What do you think?
If I was going to say the difference between like someone that looks good and bad in the octagon is experience. So if I want to relate that to life, how do people experience life? Some people grow up in poverty and, they eat bread every day and that's all they have to eat. Or some people grow up in rich families where they, live a great life, is like you said, a little cushy life where they have everything given to them and they don't have to struggle. But those experiences, like how the people before, like the generation before them, pass those experiences down. Like, because, we talk about martial arts all the time, how like, all right, I'm at this level right now, but like whenever I'm 10 years from now, the people that I train, whenever they're my age, they're going to be way better than I was now.
For sure. That's
And
the
then
beauty
past
of
that,
evolution.
Exactly. So past that, it's like, how do you develop the next generation to be prepared to develop the next generation? And like some people lose that, and that's where the people, go off sometimes, and they don't develop, they don't have that experience passed down to them. If that makes sense.
That's true, because in a way, we all like kind of learn from our environment. We're like creatures of our environment in a way. I kind of wanted to ask you, what do you think about like absolute free will? Do you believe in it? Do you not believe in it? What do you think?
That's a tough one.
It really is.
I,
Go ahead.
I do. So I have a lot of respect for Sam Harris, and you know who Sam Harris is.
I've heard the name, but I don't really.
So he's kind of like a neuroscientist / philosopher, and extremely intelligent. Man, I can't think of the name of his podcast, but he gives away a short bit for free. But to listen to all of his podcasts, you have to be a paying member. And man, it's so good. But he is an atheist that does not believe in free will. Now, I come from a conservative Christian background,
Right.
and I the belief I used to subscribe to, or the belief that just made sense to me, I guess you could call I was a Calvinist.
Okay.
Five pointer Calvinist.
I'm not exactly sure what a Calvinist is.
So basically, there's this thing called basically tulip. So John Calvin, he was a theologian, and forgive me the dates if I get it wrong.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's
like in the
going to
fif-
happen on this.
But it's like in the 1500s.
We said plenty of stupid shit.
But I want to say it's in 1500s, and he wrote a fat book when he was like 23 called The Institutes of Christian Religion. And that basically became the foundation of Calvinism. Now,
Okay.
Calvinism is based on 5 points, and it is an acronym called TULIP: total depravity, unconditional election, limited atonement, irresistible grace, and perseverance of the saints. Now, are you guys okay if I break this down?
No,
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Please, we have plenty of time.
Okay, total depravity, and this is what I subscribe to. So basically, in a nutshell, it means not total depravity, but Calvinism in a nutshell is basically the predestination. You have no free will; everything's predetermined. Which a lot of the scientists are kind of coming, to this realization that maybe we're in a simulation. Maybe we don't have free will. Maybe it's all predetermined. But I'm going back to the tulip. So total depravity. Total depravity means that apart from God, you are 100% evil. Nothing good can come from you. First off, before I go any further than this, I no longer believe this because I think people are good and people can be good apart from religion and apart from God.
So you think that it's not important for?
Well, I don't want to say apart from God, but at least apart from religion.
So you think that the religion is not important, is what you're saying?
Absolutely, I think it is. I think it is the opposite.
Just being a genuine good person is important. That's
the
all
goal.
that matters.
What would you guys think the goal of religion is?
Ultimate happiness, like paradise. Is
Okay.
the ultimate.
Right. I would agree with that as, paradise. I feel like Christians use Christians, I feel like, use religion as a way of saying they're a good person too.
Yeah.
And just a reason to live in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. So I see religion as, and I mean, this isn't a dictionary, Webster's definition, but I see like religion as an avenue to worship God.
Okay.
An avenue that a person can go through to worship God. I mean, that may not be what the Webster, if you wanted to look what religion, the definition of religion is, be my guest. But basically, total depravity, and that's the first point of Calvinism, is apart from God, you are 100% evil. There's nothing good that can come from you. Second point, unconditional election. At the start, now this is you need to know this isn't all of Christianity.
Right.
This is a sect of Christianity,
Which is Calvinism.
Yeah, and this is where I was.
Okay.
Okay.
Unconditional election. That is at the beginning of time. God is the author of salvation. And He put in. He basically picked, like, when you die. My dad always said that heaven isn't going to have any empty seats. So, again, I want to say this is what, I believed in a former time period.
Right.
But unconditional election, is, and my dad's not a Calvinist, but my dad always said he doesn't believe there's no empty seats in heaven. Basically means at the beginning of time that God picked who was going to go to heaven, who was going to go to hell. So you had your elect.
So it was already set in stone, is
Yep.
what you're saying.
Mhm. Yeah.
It was already pre-made.
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
when you were born,
again,
you
we're-
were already
We're
set
talking
for
about a
damnation.
sect of Christianity. Now there are,
Right.
hundreds of other sects that don't believe this. So I don't want you to think I'm casting this over
No.
Baptist
Okay.
or
I got you.
Pentecostals.
I got
you
you.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're following.
Yeah.
Calvinist, right? That's what you said.
Yeah. Calvinism.
Calvinist. Yeah.
And but yeah, basically it was at the everything was really nothing. Now there's a sect under Calvinism called Hyper Calvinism, and I guess you could put me under that as well, because I believe that God was so sovereign and God was so powerful that no matter what you did, his elect, it's already determined. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
So that was that's an unconditional election, and we can go back to this. I just want to get through this tulip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
L is limited atonement. Now I thought they forced tulip on there. I liked tufip, and L limited atonement, but I like the fixed atonement because I never like to prescribe Jesus Christ as having a limited atonement. Like his blood was sufficient enough to cover the sins of the whole world, but it was saved and directed just for the elect, just for the chosen. Okay. You have your chosen people. So that was L/F. And then I is irresistible grace. If you are chosen, if you are a member of if you are an elect, you cannot say no to that. You will always, you cannot say no to God. The creation cannot say no to the Creator. So this whole thing, the whole Romans road, the whole I see that hand. If you hear my voice, if you grew up in the South and you went to church, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you feel like this message spoke to you today, I want you to, every head bowed, every eyes closed, I want you to pray with me right now.
There's different kinds of pastors. It seems like I just went to a wedding the other day, and it was a black pastor who was very not necessarily emotional, but very had a lot of emotion.
Could you give us an impersonation?
We are gathered here today. It was very it was a lot, and I loved it.
Very emphasized.
When you're going through the valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the flowers and the grasses are. That's where the growing is. It's not fun. It's not fun. I know it's not. But that's where the growth is.
It.
But when you go to the mountain, the view is great. But you ain't gonna grow on top of the mountain. It's time to go down the mountain.
Can I get
and get some growth? Turn to your neighbor and say, I'm ready to go to the valley.
I love it, dude. I loved it. Like he was just mixing in with the crowd. He's kind of playing off the crowd in a way. It was a lot of fun. It was so enjoyable. Just the black preacher is always, he's going to bring the energy in a way.
Oh,
He's putting on a show.
black people, if you
Just
haven't
like
learned
anybody
that
else.
black people are better.
And everything.
Yeah.
We still
We love shitting on white people because they are.
What do you think Elvis was?
boring.
Elvis literally stole his music and his dances from black people.
Yeah.
He was just white. That he could get away with it.
But dude, I'm telling you, if Chuck Berry, and I've said this,
Chuck Berry was
if Chuck Berry was white, nobody would even know who Elvis is.
100%.
That's crazy.
I actually agree with that. But there's a beauty in being black in that time, which I know that it's they had their hardships 100%. But
they may disagree.
Oh yeah, for 100%. Yeah, I'm not saying you would be lucky, or I'm not saying that. I'm saying that out of that struggle, out of the hardships that the black people had to endure, it was tough. There was some beauty in the struggle. There's always beauty in the struggle, and Chuck Berry to me is one of those guys who's showed you the true blues.
Yeah,
and made it in a way, famous. I mean,
And honestly, real rock and roll.
real rock and
For
roll.
sure.
Yeah.
I don't want to cut off though, so I want you to finish the tulip.
Okay, so where was I? Irresistible Grace?
Yeah, irresistible grace.
Basically, you can't say no to God.
Right.
And then perseverance of the saints. Basically meaning that the saints will persevere. So like even if you fall and you stumble, you're going to get back up. You're going to stay committed to God. You're going to be there and pursue. And basically you're going to persevere through all trials. Meaning that like temptations, it's all kind of predestined, but temptations may sway you. Now, granted, we're talking about predestination and all this in the confines of God's mind, not man's mind. So man's mind can't really comprehend the like the predestination, like God's timeline.
Right.
So, I mean, it could feel like you have free will, but in the confines of a all-powerful, being, it's really not free will.
For me,
and to answer your question, I apologize. We're going to get back to it.
okay.
But to answer your original question is...
Let me get a tangerine.
I believe I feel I would subscribe to the belief of it's hard to, like, once you're in that Calvinism camp, it's hard to adopt that you have free will. So I don't know if I can answer that genuinely.
Okay.
Well, what I've gathered from the tulip thing, and it was the perfect answer for the free will
yeah, for sure.
question.
For sure.
Calvinism seems like, and I know like my first thought is like, well, what if there's like a person that was predestined and they were like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to go off the rails and go completely opposite way.
That's what
They're not-
perseverance of the
They're
saints.
not predestined.
Right.
That's the answer to that.
Yep.
But like, so there's no free will at the end of the day.
Right.
Everyone that does like terrible things, they were just going to be that way anyways.
And a good way to, like, I'm not necessarily saying like we should dumb it down, but like I had a friend growing up, and he was a guy I kind of looked up to in a way because he was a year older than me, and he was always like fun to be around, exciting to be around, and I'm talking about the age of like 6 or 7, 8, and this kid would always, like, you could tell he was a troublemaker from the get. Like he was always getting into shit, always getting in trouble. And
Now, how old are you at this time?
7 or 8, yeah,
Okay,
somewhere around there. And his dad was always gone on the road. Like, he was a truck driver, always gone on the road, and his mom was always like staying home on pills, drunk, like never gave a shit about the kids. So like,
You grew up in Pelzer?
How'd you know? How'd you know?
Shout out Pelzer. Good shout out Pelzer. Look at this shout out to the Pelzer peeps.
Damn.
Yeah. And when I think of absolute free will, I always think about this guy because in a way, like, his dad was always gone. His mom was fucked up on pills and alcohol, and when his dad came back off the road, he would always punish the kid. That was the discipline. The man came back, from the road. He had been gone for 2 weeks, a week, and when he got back, he was like, my kids need to act in line, and he would just way overcorrect, discipline these kids, and that guy was kind of an abusive male figure and an abusive husband. That the mother, when he left, she would kind of drown that with alcohol and pills, and even though, like, every time I went over there to hang out, it was always, she was very loving, very respectful to me. I never experienced any kind of hardships over there, but these are things that I saw while I was over there. And I would be over there, and she would feed us, and anytime he was home, it was tense. Even as a guest in their household, it was very tense in that environment. And I'm like, and I could feel it for him. And I was tense for him because I felt like, I never felt like he would come in and like harm me. Never felt that, but I felt kind of like tense for him as a child, like, because he was always very respectful for me. Always never did anything like that, like was harmful for me, but like they were very respectful to me. But like for him, it was tough. And like while I was over there, I would see like when he come back, he would like, "What are you doing on the game?" As soon as he walks in, like, "What are you doing on like Mario Party?" And would come in and like, I was like, "Oh God, like it's my buddy about to get
his ass beat."
Like, and then finally he would leave, which was most of the time when I got invited over because Dad was so strict, he wouldn't allow any of that. So when he left, it's most of the time when I would come over and like she would be so passed out on drugs or like uppers or downers, just completely out. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, and I'm thinking to this day, I'm like, that child never had a chance. Never had a chance. Like, absolute free will does not exist, in my opinion. Like, how is that a fair shake? So like to grow up in that toxic, like insane environment to where like, maybe your parents do meth or whatever it is, they're strung out. They do what they need to do to pay the bills, and then you're just in the corner like getting picked on at school because you wear Walmart shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like it's tough.
Well, how would you describe absolute free will then?
I don't think it exists. That's my point.
Like, what's your like description of absolute free will?
Absolute free will is like how would you describe it? Like the absolute free will would be that everyone starts from the same platform. No matter where you start, you can reach your pinnacle peak of a person. So like, say you're in the ghetto, no matter what, if you try hard enough, you can reach, to be a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a white guy in the suburbs, you can reach that point to where like everything is fair, because that's what freedom is, right? Freedom. We're in America. That's freedom.
Yeah, everybody's not dealt the same hand. I want to throw back to
exactly.
Whenever we're talking about we're talking about musicians that no matter what situation they were put in, they would still be where they're at. They're undeniable, right?
Undeniable, yeah. That's the
like
same
people
thing.
Being undeniable.
Yeah.
Everybody isn't dealt the same hand, and it's like such a fine line of like the details or like the little moments in our life that build us to who we are. And it's like everybody doesn't get those moments the same,
Yeah.
How do you feel about this?
So I think what you touch on is more of nature versus nurture.
Talk about me?
Yeah. So I don't think what you're saying. It makes sense because like everybody's starting off ground zero,
right?
Free will, but still, even if you're starting off, some person's at level 10, some person's at level 1.
Yeah.
That still doesn't negate that free will could potentially exist. You know what I mean? You're just starting
That's
at
fair.
different levels.
That's fair.
Okay, I'm not gonna shoot my dad for beating my mom.
Okay.
Like you know
makes
what I
sense.
mean? Like I'm choosing that. But I think what you're referring to is nature versus nurture, and you guys familiar with that?
Yeah, for sure. You're a product of your environment.
Yeah. So Freud was big on like, you give me his one of his famous quotes. Sigmund Freud, psychologist. He was like, "You give me any child, I can make you a thief. I can give you a thief. I can give you a doctor. I can give you a lawyer. Give me any child."
It's Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah. Just give me any child.
I like that.
I used to subscribe to that belief until I had kids.
Okay, that's interesting because I've had kids.
Listen, multiple kids, and because like one kid, you can turn them into anything,
right?
But when you have more than one, Like I look at my siblings, we are all completely different, raised in the same environment. Like I love my parents, probably more than I should, but yeah, like we are completely different. So that's why I kind of steer back to the, using nature versus nurture, bring it back to free will. That it doesn't exist because
I like that.
You are who you are, and it doesn't matter what happens to you, or anything. Like that's kind of my that's kind of my.
So you kind of think that it might be you think it might be set in stone, in a way. So you think
written in the stars.
What do you think about the simulation theory? Because that seems like
It
what
does
you're
seem a lot
leaning towards. Because it seems like you think that it's already set in stone in a way. Like what is happening? From what I'm getting from you is it seems like what is happening is already predetermined.
So I don't know if it was J.I. Packer or I don't know what theologian it was, but they had I'm leaning toward J.I. Packer, but I know that I feel like that's wrong.
That's the character from The Office, right?
No, that's the
Todd Packer.
Nice.
He's a good. I mean, he's a good guy. And first, let me go ahead and I've got to throw out a shout out to. I don't want to be shitting on Christianity the entire time.
Okay.
To
To be honest, it doesn't feel like you've shit on Christianity.
I don't think you have.
That's not my goal at all. But I want to give a shout out to Pastor David Cox.
Okay.
At Shady Grove in Belton.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking
And
about.
Pastor Zach Ford over at I can't think of the church's name in Clayton, Georgia. Grace Bible Church. And let me go ahead and tell you, and those two guys are the real deal. And I would like for you guys to have them on. Like
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm always open to any guest.
Yeah, for sure.
No, yeah, they would be good because Pastor David Cox, I have put him through the ringer. There's not many Christians that will talk to me about religion because I know more. It's
You've studied it for years.
I've spent more time in the I've spent more time in their religion than they have as far as studying it, and they will not talk religion.
Can I ask you something?
What?
You've studied religion for so long, and I'm kind of curious as to what turned it for you. Because I've never seen anybody like dedicate their life to something. I mean, this is something that like your parents and their parents have passed down through generations and generations of Christianity and pushed it onto you, and then you spend your entire life studying Christianity. What changed? What was it that turned your?
Okay, first before I answer that, what was I don't want to get too off topic to address the original. Do you know? I know you're pretty good about. What was your original question?
Well, we had just talked about absolute free will.
I felt like I answered that.
It's been a lot of beers in between.
I remember making a point to do a shout out to Pastor David and Zach because those guys are the real deal. You know what I'm saying? You don't find that.
Yeah, definitely believe, and it just kind of shined light on I kind of want to see.
Don't judge their actions by me. Please,
absolutely.
Please,
I'm not trying to connect the two. Yeah. I just wanted to see.
But if you will talk to me about religion, you already have my respect. But please do not talk to me about religion if you do not know your faith, because I can manipulate you into an atheist really quick.
100%. And that's kind of what it interests me. I've never seen. I've met a lot of people, man. I'm friends with a lot of people. I've met a lot of people, and I've never met anyone who had dedicated their life to a religion and then completely flipped the other way. So that automatically I'm okay, I'm very interested in your life. What like changed what, kind of turned the tides to going the other way. You know what I'm saying? Like
Well,
it's very interesting.
What? So you were a Calvinist before. What do you consider yourself now?
I don't know if I can ever answer that question honestly.
Well, answer it non-honestly.
Yeah, just tell us how you feel. It's all about how you feel. We're very transparent on this podcast.
And I know you're in front of the audience, so I know you don't want to like say this and it not be exactly that.
So I'm big on like I feel like you can. I feel like children are targeted in American Christianity.
Okay.
And I feel like you can manipulate a child to believe anything you want them to believe.
Isn't in a way like that's...
It's almost like a sexual predator.
But in a way, isn't that like a... It kind of seems like there's ways to establish world dominance. And in a way, you can establish world dominance in a religion aspect. So, like, you can... There's there's so many ways to establish world dominance in, like, okay, a military aspect or a religion aspect. Like, there's ways to... You want to make people believe in what you believe. So, like, that's kind of how cults exist. Is it possible that...
Well, Seneca, he was a Stoic that was the mentor of Nero, an emperor of Rome, who really hated Christians. Seneca had a quote, and I love, and it said, "Religion is truth to the common man, useful to the rulers, but false to the wise." And I kind of believe that because I can, like, if you're not in a religion, you can't objectively look at you can't objectively look at the world. You can't objectively look at your circumstance as being 100% non-biased. But like there is, if you subscribe to a religion, you can be manipulated.
Could you give us an example of that?
Yes. An example of that would be Donald Trump persuading. I know you guys don't like politics.
That's fine. We're listening.
Go ahead. We'll listen.
But Donald Trump sitting on his recliner reading his Bible. Just a picture of that.
Okay.
A picture, a quote of him saying, "I never touch alcohol. I never drink another alcohol. My brother." This is what Donald Trump said. My brother struggled with alcoholism. I've never touched it, nor will I ever touch it. So people eat that up.
Yeah, I definitely I see what you're saying. Like, regardless of politics, you weren't really referred to him as a political figure, but as a very popular a person that people are drawn to and listen to what he believes. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
and like it's really like anything where in life the people that they seem the most influential, you want to listen to them, and it's so easy to be manipulated. Like you look at just pop culture in general, where Kanye West has his new shoe out. Oh, I'm gonna buy it. I want to buy it. Just like that. It's the exact same concept.
Yeah, I mean, gods come all shapes and sizes. Like you can worship a god that's alive or dead.
Jesus.
Yeah. And I think in a sense we are products of our environment. And that's why I don't think
to a certain extent, yeah.
To a certain extent, which why I don't think that free will exists. I don't think absolute free will exists because we are all products of our environment. Like we really are. Like you think of like all these encounterments that you've had and you've had of like your mom and your dad and like your friends, like you kind of take a little bit of the person you look up to the most. Like we all do. We take a little bit of that, and then like another person we see, like, oh, I really like that quality of that person.
Influence.
You'll take a little bit of that, and then all of a sudden you'll see this person. You're like, oh man, I kind of like that quality of that person. That's kind of, you'll like hang out with a person. You'll see like, damn, like they have like a lot of charisma. Like they're really selling this because of this or because of that, and you really like endure that. Like you really embrace that into who you are. You know, like you really like that charisma of the other person or whatever it may be, and to me, it just seems like we're all just a product of our environment. We really like the people we look up to, you know, we embrace it in. We are all a part of the people we love most.
So would you agree with Freud that you can make anyone anything you want,
A doctor or
based on their environment?
Well, I think it's like more than likely that's probably what happens.
Well, I think I would 100% agree with that, honestly, because I think that absolute free will does exist. I think
where though?
I think that absolute free will exists, but we're a product of our environment because of that. Everybody has had the choice to do everything, but there's such a huge sample size
And
that at the end of the day,
in America, right? Like
yeah, sure, yeah, that's what I'm referring to because that's realistically the only culture
we had the
I've
option
experienced.
for absolute free will.
That's the only culture I've realistically experienced. So
That's fair.
yeah,
That's fair.
I can't speak on other countries, but
Shout out to the forefathers for giving us this.
yeah, but I
Not
I
everything, not all of your beliefs were good, but you know, we eventually got headed in the right direction.
but it's like there's such a huge sample size of people doing whatever the fuck they want to do. At some point, all those things are going to mesh to affect you.
Yeah,
Just like everything that me and you do will affect, Shawn or Heather or, whoever else. But there's such a huge amount of people that are influencing one specific person, regardless of if that's like, it's not deliberate, but, there's free will, but there's so much free will that it almost seems like there's not free will at all, like he's saying.
like that's when you really think about it. Like it's tough to digest all of it
So much.
because then you kind of get lost in thought of like when you talk about all the variables that go into a choice.
Right.
Like if I were to ask you to punch me, you've got to consider the variable of we're friends. You are dangerous because you really know how to strike someone and hurt them. How much pressure do you apply? And the list goes on.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, do those variables, do those extraneous variables limit your choice to where we say there's no free will, or did you choose not to hit me because of all of those variables?
Yeah, and that's a free choice. That's a free will that I have of just decide not to do it.
Yeah, I'm not married. I will say when I was a Calvinist,
He is married.
No. Yeah, I am married.
Can you get a little closer to the mic? It's hard to.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I'm not married to not having free will, but it's hard for me to be. It's hard for me to adopt having free will, giving my background, which I want to get back to answering his question about why did I leave Christianity? Why did I leave the religion after dedicating my life,
Entire life.
being well, not entire life, because there were months where I stumbled, I struggled,
That's fair.
But then again, that's part. And correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mean to cut you off, but if that's kind of like part of that process of faith, where you're going to struggle with your faith, but that's part of faith is coming back, and
you're at perseverance of the saints.
Yeah, exactly.
But So I'm gonna say to answer your question, there were problems with the religion and the text, the sacred text, known commonly as, the Bible, that I had a lot of concerns with, and I'm not going to name them all, but and so I'm going to say that I never really was a Christian, and I pursued that life to convince myself and to appease like my parents, my peers.
So you thought that like you wanted to be a Christian because of the people around you, like your family, your friends. You wanted to just fit in. You wanted to be like, okay, like this is what's been told to me. I want to, like, you kind of look up to those people, like your friend, your mom, your dad, your family. Like, in a way, you really look up to those people, and you don't want to, in a way, tell them that they're full of shit or you're lying. Like, okay, put yourself in these shoes. Let's paint a picture. Let's pretend just you as an individual. Like, let's pretend that you have some parents and they're pushing religion on you because that's what's been pushed on them. Do you, in a way, like, do you fall into line to, like, you want to earn the respect, and as a person, when you grow in that system, you want to be accepted. You want to be looked at as a person who has succeeded. Like has had a great life, who is a leader or whatever. Like, you want to be a person who has made it. And in those eyes, do you think that if you fall in those Christian lines, it's easier for you to convince those people that you have made it and been successful in a way? Like, there's definitely something there to where you look up to these people and you want to be successful, like I said. And it's interesting to see, like, how much you're influenced by the people before you, because that's all you know is the people who've taught you
Absolutely.
everything you know. Like you only know what you know, and at the time, the people who have taught you, that's all you know. So, like, do you push against that? Do you believe in that more because you really look up to those people and you want to succeed? And the more you absorb your environment, do you become what your environment is? Do you break out of that? Like, it's very interesting to see,
And like I was saying to him, like right as you went, when you left, I think that free will does exist, but it's a combination of everybody's free will that affects you. So as a teacher, it's my free will to, push, like, the fact that, like, whenever, I'll go to, like, me teaching karate. Whenever I teach, the biggest thing I harp on is, if you do not try new techniques, you will not get better at new techniques. It is impossible to get better as a fighter without trying new things.
But that's what I'm asking is,
Man, that's so hard to do.
But what I'm saying is, like, that's my free will to say that. But if I use my free will not to say that, then they wouldn't have that same impact. Maybe they don't ever learn that,
Yeah.
So it's like you are a product of your environment.
For sure.
But that's based off of free will.
But that means that's not absolute free will. Like, absolute free will means, like, no matter where you're born, no matter what you're, like, encapsulated in, like, you can become what you want to become. And I just don't believe that's the case.
But I think it's not really a thing of, like, free will. I think it's more of, like, free will influences people. Like, my free will of, I decided to, staying karate, like whenever there was times whenever I was in karate where I was like, I'm not gaining anything for myself for karate. So why am I still doing karate? But I decided to keep going. I was like, you know what? Maybe I could teach somebody else. And that's how I kind of developed into a teacher. But like, what if I choose that free will to be like, you know what? Fuck it. At 18, like I got a job. I was like, you know what?
You're
that.
lazy with the free will.
I could have been, yeah.
But what I'm saying is
that
like,
would have
people don't
benefited
the opportunity to be lazy or be aggressive with the free will. It's just
some circumstance, yeah.
yeah.
But and where I want to go with this is,
I like that. I like.
Do you think that, like,
I don't think many people have the opportunity for that?
so do you think everything happens for a reason?
Yes, call me a romantic. Yeah,
You believe in that?
yeah.
That's weird, man.
Now, do I believe everything happens for a good outcome or a good
No,
reason?
you just think everything happens for a reason. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
But in a way, like when you say that, it results me back to simulation theory. It's like
Because I process everything, and the older I've gotten, the more I've realized is not a lot of people do that. A lot of people just
Take it for what it is.
take it for what it is, and but I process everything, and then for so long I've seen the connections of the stupid, meaningless things. You know what I mean?
Like what?
Playing Magic the Gathering. How stupid that was when I first got into it.
okay, that's fair.
I was bored. I
So
started playing
what
it.
age?
But
What age?
I would not have met you.
Without that, yeah.
What age did you get into Magic the Gathering? And for the audience that doesn't know, Magic the Gathering is a
Nerd card game.
Yeah, it's a nerd card game. You got all the different elements, and it's a very strategic. It's a strategic.
It's a financial
nerd card
investment game where it's complicated. You won't understand.
It's a strategic card game. It's very nerd card game is a simple version for sure. Well, what age were you when you got into that?
What age did I
14?
want to get into it?
What age did you? No.
Did you
Did
get
you?
No,
get into
okay.
it?
Enough. You know what? Screw this.
No, you could've said fuck.
Screw this.
You could say fuck.
We can cuss on this podcast.
Yeah. No, I know. But I want you to know that the age I wanted to get into it was when I was about 15, 16 years old, and I saw kids in high school playing it, and I wanted to get into it then, but I did
But
not
free
get
will.
into
But you
it.
chose to be free and say no.
Well, it wasn't my time because that wouldn't have been relevant to meet, you guys. I could counter that.
And that's
fair, yeah.
and that's what it boils down to is
But
is this fate?
I was maybe 28, 29.
Okay.
I haven't been playing long, but I was like, dude, I've got to convince somebody to play this with me because
And you did.
I
did.
don't like
so many
the
people.
average Magic player, so I'm just gonna convince.
because they're too aggressive.
big old nut swinger! Shout out nut swinger!
Shout out Nut Swinger.
Shout
Hey,
out.
cheers to Nut Swinger.
Cheers to nut swinger!
Fucking legend.
I love that dude.
No, nut swinger.
He's one of my favorite people, man.
No,
I love that dude.
Listen, nut swinger is not my best friend. He is my brother. Dude, I love that dude.
Listen, man. There's
Oh,
a
I think my
difference-
brother's my
There's
best
a
friend.
difference between a best friend and a brother. Brother
Yeah.
means it's personal. It's
Oh, yeah.
my friend. This
It's
is
blood.
It's blood.
Yep.
And I've told you before, I don't believe in this is my blood. I should look after this person. I don't believe in that. I really don't, because I think family members can shit on you and shit on you and shit on you and take advantage of you. Fuck that person who takes advantage of you. But there's a beauty in
Fuck that person.
and a person that you met along your path and along your journey who have.
He's just doing shit now.
Sorry. I'm new, guys.
Hey, can you give me a beer also?
Yeah.
Thank you. Here it comes.
I'm looking for that 9.9.
It's probably in there somewhere.
I said yes. There's a beauty in a person who is I don't know, man. Fill that role.
So, what I want to say is, you talked about the fate. We talked about everything happens for a reason or free will. Right now, in this moment, and I want to go to the podcast. We decided to make a fucking podcast. It could be a stupid fucking idea, but we're having a good time with it regardless of views or whatever. And we appreciate the support in every fucking form or fashion.
You guys. Shout
And
out.
this is a form of the support.
Yes.
The Crabman is our biggest supporter, and we appreciate that so much. But he's also such a good friend, and that's what I wanted him here first. Yes, exactly.
I am a fan.
Exactly. So we appreciate that so fucking much.
For sure.
But like,
For sure.
at this moment, what if I decided to just say, fuck it, I don't want to do the podcast anymore.
And just walk out.
Or I can decide to push as hard as I've ever pushed to make it grow big. That's free will, right? Think of the people that I would influence. Say, maybe not.
So so what you're
Hold
saying
on,
is,
but it might not influence anybody.
Okay.
But what if, like, me quitting, I never did it again. We had 67 subscribers. Or we got 12 million subscribers if I pushed as hard as I possibly could. The people that I impact
You have
based
to
on
keep
a
grinding.
one free will decision.
you have to keep grinding, but like,
No, what I'm saying is that's one decision. That's a 50-50 shot. I could quit or I could push as hard as I could.
that's fair.
And
when
the
you put it in
potential-
that- when you put it in that sense, yeah.
Free will, obviously there's free will there.
Does he continue to do the podcast? Does he not?
So
Find out in the next episode.
Dragon Ball Z. Pew pew pew.
I
pew.
apologize to anyone who's listening. I apologize to Shawn and Bryant's dad. If this is the last one you have to listen to.
No, it's not. No, that's what I'm saying. I love this shit. This shit is way too fun.
So-
but what I'm saying is, like, I have that free will to be like, I could quit or I could keep going. But, like, that free will might impact fucking millions of people.
But that free
Probably
will
not.
started from like being from your environment of like a good
It started
father,
from
a
other
good
people's
mother.
free will.
Like, you,
It started from other people's free will.
yes. So like this absolute free will exists. I do not think it does. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I mean, I'll go ahead and tell you right now, you guys making this podcast, I can only imagine how much it excites your dad to watch it. Like, so.
Well, how about
Shout out.
Dad, leave a comment.
Let us know.
Let us know in the comments.
You tell us what you think, but let's actually see in the comment section.
He probably doesn't know how to leave a comment.
I'll show him. I'll show him.
Yeah.
Please do, because I've been waiting on it.
He's got to ask me, though. He's
Like,
got to say, hey, how do I
that's
leave a
what-
comment? If he does, then I'll know he watched this fucking episode,
Like-
which I know he will.
Like, my kids and the generations like after us, they will not know the frustrations we've had to go through at work and in life of teaching people like how to use a computer.
But the beauty of it is,
They'll
they'll be able to relate because they're going to go through some other stupid struggle that's very similar or relatable to that.
That's fair.
Dude,
That's fair.
it's,
And they're gonna be like, man, I bet
possible.
that's what it was like whenever Dad was teaching that moron Jack to fucking run the machine.
But that's why I think this is the best time. I mean, in the best 100 years to be alive right now. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you just think about the advances.
You're lucky to exist right now.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
gonna be honest. Like
Absolutely.
you, like
Donald Glover
If you're listening to this podcast, you are lucky as fuck.
to be listening to this podcast.
Yes. Seriously,
You're lucky as fuck that we
you are
started
a lucky motherfucker to be here listening to my voice as I speak. I should pull out some fucking salt and vinegar chips and fucking ASMR in your
ASMR.
ass right now. Cause
Damn, in your ass.
in your fucking ass. 'Cause
I'm listening.
that was nice.
Oh, that's good. It felt nice in my
Yeah,
ears.
I almost started eating salt and vinegar chips.
I'll be
But
back. I gotta
to be
bust
honest,
one.
like it's
You're welcome.
you
Oh,
are
yep,
lucky
that's it.
to be here in 2022 and experience the last fucking 40 years, 50, hell, 60 years. The last 60 years has been a blessing in the timeline that we have existed on this earth. Be thankful, man.
we exist the same time that
And-
podcasts
and
and
start and
Jimi
start-
Hendrix bobbleheads exist.
Yes, that's the
Listen, you guys like top fives. You guys like top fives.
I love top.
Okay,
Love
I
top.
I'm
I gotta
gonna-
piss.
I'm
I
gonna-
gotta piss.
Go ahead.
Hold on.
Hold on.
I've got a piss too. Okay,
All right,
so
okay.
you may have to cut this.
Hey, well, you know what? Let's take a quick piss break and
Well, why don't you go and then we'll keep
I've
talking.
got a piss.
go
ahead.
first. Go
Go ahead.
first. Go first. I can hold it.
Well, I'm kind of trapped, so let's just go together and make it.
All right. All
No,
right.
go.
we'll make it-
You go ahead and then
We're gonna fucking cut.
Hey, the guest says so.
But
gotta
we
do
can
it.
leave this for the guests, for
Hey,
the OG
yeah.
fans.
We're gonna take a quick piss break, guys. We'll be back. Oh
That was
man,
good. And
we back, son.
We
Cheers.
took a.
He was never in time for his classes. He wasn't in time for his dinner. Then one day,
He
He wasn't in his time at all.
Hey,
Back to the Future, man.
Cheers to the Madden
Back
League.
to the motherfucking
Cheers to
future.
the Madden League.
Madden League.
Back to the Future again.
Madden 22 League.
I love the Madden League. I'm glad you guys.
Who we got? We got shout out John Michael. Shout out Nutswinger. Shout out Ricky. Shout
Damn,
out
Ricky.
Us three.
Ricky.
We're
man.
shouting us out. We're shouting ourselves out. I like that.
That swinger's the shit, dude.
All right, so look, we didn't.
Pause. I'm going to interject.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
actually, I've got a little experiment.
Okay, I'm
So,
listening.
will you? I've got a free will.
What, you got some lettuce?
I've been holding lettuce for the last 25
I'm not
minutes.
fucking touching that shit. Okay.
Y'all going to eat it?
Why? Or would I?
Why
I
are we
thought
gonna
you.
eat this
I
lettuce?
thought. Okay, cut
It
the
is-
shit.
it is
Cut the
good.
shit.
Why are we gonna eat
It
this
is
lettuce?
good for you.
No, can't get a time out. You brought lettuce up here for a reason. Why the fuck are
Yeah.
you making
Eat
this
the fucking lettuce.
No,
You'll see.
why?
Eat the lettuce. You'll find out.
Alright, I eat this fucking piece of shit lettuce from Food Line.
I mean, I don't know where it's
Oh, we
from.
ate the lettuce, man.
All
Shit
right.
warm. You've been holding that shit for a while.
Damn, I feel like I got some particles from the palm. Particles from the palm.
So this was a free will experiment, and I didn't type anything. I want you. They both eat it. Can you see it?
I see it.
You can confirm that I didn't type it.
Yeah, I mean, you typed it.
Okay.
Or before we ate it.
Cut to the motherfucking chase.
Okay.
I wish I
The
didn't.
free will is a hoax.
I've been saying it. I
However,
didn't agree
Sean
with
didn't eat all of it, so.
I mean, it don't matter.
This motherfucker.
Listen, I'll eat it. I'll eat it for the critics at home.
All right, so did you bring some chips or something to, like,
No, I didn't.
to take this taste out of our mouths?
It'd be a
I
lot
did not.
better if you did, because I could
Sorry.
go for a good Lay's potato chip right now.
Yeah.
So, where I was going before the shenanigans was that we didn't talk about our movie of the week or our album of the week. So,
I like
you know what?
this.
We're going to
Yeah,
do both of
you're right.
these. I want to start. I don't have a movie of the week yet. I got to still think about it. I had one and I forgot about it. You know, alcohol does that to you.
You know, I tell
So,
you
what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it with my album of the week, which is Off the Wall by Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson's a great. I mean, you can't go wrong with the greatest pop singer of all time.
Yeah,
Any
absolutely.
argument?
Here's the goat.
However,
if you can get away with saying the greatest in this crowd,
I thought you were going to
That's
say
good.
if you can get away with
we
fucking
did take about a
kids,
30
then-
minute
Nah,
break.
he's the pop goat. We know it. We
Would-
all know it. Anybody listening right now, we all know that Michael Jackson is the goat of pop.
Yeah,
Can we
for
do
sure.
shout out Shane Beamer? I mean, we took a 30-minute break to finish the
finish watching the Gamecock game.
About him
This is going to come out tomorrow, but this shouldn't go
on.
unnoticed. Cheers to the fucking Gamecocks.
Cheers.
How about them fucking
To
Gamecocks?
Shane Beamer. Thanks, man.
To Shane Beamer.
Bringing it back.
It's good to get a dub.
Oh,
Shane
Steve
Beaver.
Spurrier. You
Get
break
it
my heart.
up.
Must chant.
So what about you guys? What's your album of the week, Brent?
Album of the week would be This Wildlife, Low Tides. And there's a reason. So we went to, me and my lovely wife, Paris, shout out Paris,
Shout out.
Shout out Paris.
went to see Dashboard Confessional in Charlotte. And there was a band, This Wildlife, they opened for them. Man, this was probably back in 2016, 2017. And I know you guys are big metalheads, but I'm a big emo guy.
No, I just laughed at the fucking noise that came out of his throat.
Oh, sorry. And, dude, those guys, I lost my debit card at that show. And when I go somewhere, particularly a show, comedy show, anything, I like to buy something from that show.
Yeah.
And the dude was giving away albums.
Yeah.
And Low Tides was the album he gave away.
Now, what makes you
And-
think that, like, what makes you feel the album? What makes it your album of the week?
He's getting there.
Okay, first off, I need to request that hashtag This Wildlife is in the show notes.
Okay.
And maybe even a Spotify
Your
link.
request has been received. It may
Can
be
I get a
processed
timeout?
in
I kind of want to address this.
1 to 2
because
days.
It hasn't been addressed. That's that your shirt looks like you might
Be a whore.
Okay, maybe, but it seems like you might be like a Fisher Price salesman.
That's what makes that shirt so good. That's what makes that shirt so good. 'Cause
It's so funny.
dark.
It's so funny that you mentioned this because so is
Your mother.
my man right here, Paul Stanley, and this is a Fisher Price Little People collectible.
What you mean by
It's not
little people?
That's the name of it. It's a little person.
Okay, just asking.
So Brent's
I'd
gonna
say
finish that
you
so you don't
like,
have to drink it. Oh, never mind. You gotta drink it. Damn, that's a shame.
Pass that mother.
You gotta finish it. You gotta finish it.
Oh no.
It's not much. It's
I've
not
done
much.
drank more in this motherfucker than anybody in this table had.
Well, yeah, because you fucking live here.
That's bullshit.
You live here.
Of this glass itself.
You live here. That's your bottle.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's been gifted to you.
been gifted.
Shout out to Uncle L. I wish Clemson would have caught a fucking L. That's all of it. God damn, why'd you do that?
But one thing, I mean, we can admit
shout
that
out to Jägermeister.
DJ Uungale will never see the field again.
Yeah, it's probably not looking too good for him. It's probably not looking too good for him. But we didn't get to. So your album was
This Wildlife,
Low Tides.
And we went to a Dashboard Confessional concert. They opened for them. I lost my debit card.
I thought you were gonna say virginity.
Yes,
Lost my virginity.
It wasn't that good of a show.
Oh, damn.
But dude, I don't know, like I love buying stuff at like new places. Yeah, you know, like
What you mean? What you mean?
Like if I go to a show, like I like buying something from that show.
Okay, that's cool. I like that.
I like that.
Just like I don't know if it's proof or what, but I like buying stuff
we all
from
like
shows.
souvenirs. We all like souvenirs.
And like the fact that I lost my debit card it bummed me out so bad. Now I don't go to a lot of shows. You guys do. Is it normal for a lead singer of a band to say, "Meet me in the parking lot. I'm giving out my CDs for free"?
Gilmore's.
Meet me in the parking lot so you can see these. That's me if I was a band guy.
Meet me in the parking lot.
I
I've never heard that
directly
one.
to.
No, no,
I
no,
just
no.
want you guys to.
That
dude,
jacket belongs to Mr. Gilmore.
Dude.
That's all here.
I never heard that one.
He said, dude, shout out Kevin, This Wildlife. He said, meet me in the parking lot. I'm giving away CDs. I just want you guys to experience my music or our music.
It's an honest hustle.
I respect that though. That's what the
And
fuck
like,
is
dude,
up.
it made me feel so good, like knowing that the streak didn't end because I lost my debit card
virginity.
and virginity.
So I just want to point out that so we had the debate of whether the mics are turned the right way, and I want to point out that you can see the light whenever they're pointed this way, and you cannot see the light when they're pointed
This
that
is
way.
how
Way
a
is-
mic is
yeah.
supposed to.
Yours
be
makes
pointed.
sense.
But you can't
That's-
see the light.
That makes sense.
You can't
I would
see
like
the
to
light.
point out that I would like. I mean, if you do a proper sound check, it shouldn't matter. What?
But what's the point of the light here?
It's to show you the power's on.
Yeah. What about when it turns red?
Listen, a sound check. This is a sound check. Sorry, guys, if this makes.
Oh shit.
Oh, here
This-
you go. Here he goes.
Testing.
Is this thing on?
It's on.
Is
Okay.
this thing on?
So what about the red light though? Like, what's the point of that? Whenever if I go, what's the point of that? The red light.
So it doesn't matter because
I'll make that loud.
a
like, quieter.
legitimate
Please.
I'll make- no, no,
sound
see that. Holy
production.
shit, that's loud.
A legitimate sound production is gonna have people in the sound booth, like
What
mixing
sound booth?
and adjusting.
Yeah, well, you know what? This isn't a legitimate sound production. This is fucking
Not yet.
This is two drunks
Not yet. Which
drinking beers
okay.
and summon
I-
demons.
dude,
Production.
I've got a question. I've been wanting to ask for so long
Okay, go
to you guys, but I want to know your album of the week.
To me, my album of the week is
He's stalling.
no, it's not. It's not. It's What's More Around the Sun.
Oh god damn! It's already
by
been recommended.
Mastodon, which is something that
You guys are big
it-
Mastodon guys.
I am a huge Mastodon guy because like
Just him.
it's metal meets like progression. like heavy metal meets good progression. So like you get that mix of like Tool with like a mix of like heavy metal. So it's like it's really fun to listen to Mastodon and listen to see where the drums go, listen to see where the guitar goes. It's a lot of fun to.
And also, it tells a story too. Like
It does.
I'm a huge fan of Mastodon. Like,
Yeah.
like our fellow comrade King Crab said, we are huge fans of Mastodon. So,
Yeah. I know they both are.
so what about movies? Do you have a movie of the week?
My movie of the week is
Hashtag Mastodon in the show notes.
to me, my movie of the week is House of a Thousand Corpses. It's October, baby. It's time to get fucking spooky.
It's time to get spooky.
It's time to get fucking spooky.
Hold
House
on,
of
yo,
a Thousand
Dookie, it's time to get
Corpses.
spooky.
That's fuck you. Fuck your motherfucking grandma. And most of all, fuck you. Like that's Captain
Wait,
Spaulding.
you're going to get scared.
Well, you gonna
It's time to get scared.
You're about to get a little uncomfortable. Like
Yeah.
that's the House of a Thousand Corpses. You're gonna get uncomfortable. You're gonna experience some shit that you don't. Yeah.
15 minutes later. That's a great movie.
You're gonna see Walton Goggins in strange.
Oh, Uncle Baby Billy in a new role.
It's gonna get uncomfortable.
Uncle
But
Baby Billy.
That's
It's-
Ratchet Gemstones.
Uncle Baby Billy.
Have you ever? Are you familiar with Ratchet Gemstones?
No, that's my uncle. Baby Billy.
Baby Billy.
No, I've never seen it. I've never watched it.
No,
He's
you
recommended
have
it.
to watch
I have
Ratchet
to?
Gemstones.
What if I don't watch it?
No, you have to. Then
But
then you're not predestined to.
Oh, damn. Because there's no free will.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So I never watch it.
So
then I wasn't
so
supposed
that's
to watch
why I
it.
can't get mad at you. But if I do get mad at you, I was predestined to get mad at you, and I had
But-
no choice in it.
Oh, shit.
So we'll talk about pedophilia.
I like that.
when it comes- in a minute.
No, we
let's
won't.
not talk about that.
No, we won't.
Let's not talk about that. We talked about Michael Jackson enough.
I mean, dude, like that's the standard philosophical, like wrongdoing. Like,
I was predestined to fuck this kid.
yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me.
So, from a Christian perspective,
It's a
we're
hot
called to
take.
love
It's a hot
all
take.
people.
That is true.
So, when I was a Calvinist, that was the only belief I could subscribe to love that guy, because he didn't have a choice. Might I remind you, I no longer believe.
I'm glad you added that.
Yeah. First disclaimer of
Fair.
Yeah, that disclaimer needed to be said.
post-claimer.
Yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough. Fair enough.
That's there's fucked up people in this world.
A lot.
There
of
is.
fucked up people in this world. Yeah.
But what makes something wrong?
Social constructs.
Perspective, maybe?
Well, like we were talking about earlier, your free will influences people in such a dramatic way sometimes. And I think, like, if that is your free will, then that would really influence somebody in a really fucked up way.
Makes sense.
The way I look at life is, and we were on the movie thing, but the way I look at life is, I don't consider, like, I don't give a fuck about social constructs or whatever. I look at my life as, how am I going to influence a person into a positive way where they can influence somebody in a positive way? And so I don't think about, what did I do today that was, like, good for me? I mean, I think, like, what's good for me is making other people better. That's what I fucking enjoy the most in my life.
I like that.
And so I look at,
Making
like,
people better.
yeah, exactly, making other
Just
people better.
improving your life and improving the people around you.
Like, using what I've learned, and I'm only 23 years old. I mean, I've seen some fucked up things, but I mean, not like, I mean, people have been through way worse than I have.
Never devalue yourself based on your age.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean,
That
I'm
goes
just
to the
and I'm not.
18-year-old to the 65.
No way.
Oh, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm just saying, like, what some other people would say. I'm catering to the other
I'm
thing.
kind of curious on that. Like, what makes you believe that? Like, what makes you so hard stance on that belief?
Because some motherfuckers grew up in Pelzer, and some motherfuckers didn't.
Okay.
Damn, they
Well, I'm
they
listening.
motherfuckers.
I'm just throwing out. I'm just throwing out one example of a stereotype that exists in Pelzer.
Okay.
With the example you used earlier, some people experienced the life of your friend. Some people didn't.
Yeah, that's spot on.
Sir. fair.
And so my goal that's why I'm so drawn to teaching is I find like my happiness through I see my influence in other people, like especially like younger people, because they're like it's gonna mold their minds much more than it's like an older person, you know. So whenever I can use my influence like in a positive way, like you have to like I'll refer back to karate teaching. You've got to try new things to get good at new things. You're gonna always if you don't ever try new shit, if you don't ever go into your uncomfortable zone, you're always gonna be uncomfortable.
Can I just go ahead and say that the older you get, the harder. And I know this is completely contradicts what I just said.
That's fair.
But the older you get, the harder that gets because you're programmed to think. Like, I mean, those neurons are wired. You know what I mean? In your brain.
How are they wired?
I mean, you got a board?
Sorry, I'm just being an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't apologize. I was a fake. Sorry.
I don't. Yeah. I get it.
How about a fucking Gamecocks?
Apologies don't exist.
Yeah, they don't.
Forgiveness.
Because free will isn't real.
Have you ever asked someone for forgiveness instead of apologizing?
I've never asked anyone
like, will you forgive me? Instead of
who asked anybody like that question? Will you forgive me?
Like, I apologize really means that I'm sorry.
I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Or
I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Yeah. It really puts the weight and the debt on the person. On the other person. Whereas forgiveness like means that you receive that you wronged the other person and you're asking them, will you forgive me?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. I like that.
Yeah.
So what's your movie of the week?
Movie of the week. Speaking of October, I'm changing it up.
Oh, damn.
I came in here with something else, but I had a House of 1,000 Corpses, and he wants to make people feel uncomfortable. I'm going to say The House That Jack Built.
Okay, so what was your recommendation before?
Archive on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
I think it's Theo James is the lead actor.
Is that the guy the podcast guy with the mullet from Louisiana?
No. That's Theo Vaughn.
Oh, sorry, my fault. No, I'm sorry. So the house that Jack built.
I want to remind everyone that's watching that we took about a 35 to 45 minute break.
I mean, sometimes people got to go to the bathroom. I mean, why wouldn't you?
We did finish with a Gamecock game.
We did, and it was a dub.
A few more drinks.
It's all the drink. It's always drinks, man.
Yeah.
We don't stop drinking.
Hey! Mad League.
Hey, speaking of, can I get another beer?
Get as big as you want, man.
Until we run out.
That's okay. This is a solid beer. We hadn't really talked about the beers that we're drinking.
There's so many.
Yeah, it is, but this is a perfect display of what we decided to drink. Shawn is currently drinking the AVL, the Tropical Juicy Citrus IPA by Highland Brewery.
It's so good, dude. Like for traditional hoppy IPA, it's just so good. Like
I feel like
very standard, but it's very tasty.
To me, whenever I think of AVL, I think it's a really hoppy IPA that feels light.
I can see that.
And it's so strange that it feels light because it's, what is it, 5.5? I mean, it's 5.5, 6%. It's not like it's not like a crazy ABV, but it's such a good citrusy IPA.
Yeah.
And I remember on my 21st birthday, we were drinking AVL and Vacation. That's it. Yeah.
It's very good.
What's your first impression? You didn't cleanse your palate, but it's okay.
I'm a pro. I don't need to.
So what's your first impression?
He's a pro.
It's hard for me to say citrus when there's a tangerine in the bucket.
Well, I was saying citrus because it's on the can.
Yeah. It's a good IPA. That's a good hazy.
It's a well-rounded.
That's not base hit. That's ground rule double hazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, so
I don't.
We've
So like a ground rule double is when it bounces the ball, like in baseball, it bounces over the wall, not all the way over. So like
So how does that relate to the IPA?
it's an automatic double. It's not a base hit because it's better than a base hit. So it's an automatic double.
Okay, I like that.
It's a ground rule double.
Yeah, I like that.
But yeah, it's a pretty. I feel like it's a very well-rounded IPA.
Yeah, it's a good beer.
It really is.
And so now you're drinking.
Now this is the one I've been
9.9%.
fishing
Damn.
for. This is the Tropical Beer Hug by Goose Island Beer. It's a 9.9%, and I'm a big double IPA fan. I will say, do not drink IPAs. Y'all haven't said this on the podcast, but I'm going to.
Drink responsibly. Is that what
Drink responsibly, and
Always.
don't drink
Boo.
IPAs unless you're used
Boo.
to drinking.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we've been drinking a lot, but we also have a little bit more experience than your average person.
For sure.
For sure.
So I'm drinking and this is actually the first time we've ever had Stone IPA on the podcast. So
It is.
I'm drinking
Shout
the
out Stone.
Stone Tangerine Express Hazy IPA.
Do you like it?
It's 6.7%. I
Have
do
you tried
like it.
You like it?
Have
You want to try it?
I
think
think
it's
It's a good brew.
I'm not going to say my opinion on the taste until after it takes a sip, but it's a little refreshing
tasty for sure.
compared to the other beers I've had.
Yeah, it's tasty.
It's pretty sweet.
I
It's
mean,
a sweeter hazy.
it is every bit. That's what I'm saying. It is.
It's like the least
100%
hazy.
citrus.
It's the least hazy that I've ever had, I think.
Yeah, I can see
It's
that.
a very it almost you can really taste like the tangerine so much that it doesn't have that like a hazy will have that foggy like cloudy taste. I mean hazy, foggy, cloudy, it's all synonyms, but
So we've got a lot of beers, and we've all tried all the beers. What's the best one?
my favorite is
No. I'm talking about today.
that's what I'm saying. My favorite has probably been the Goose Island hazy that I had before. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was like 6.5%. It was one of the beer hugs. It wasn't a beach vacation for your taste buds. It wasn't that one. It wasn't the 9.9%.
No, I'm cool with like.
Crabman.
I like them all. I like all three of them.
Nice
honestly,
chest.
like I like the AVL. I like the Tangerine Express and Stone. I like Goose Island's version of it. I don't know. I don't really. How to pick one is really hard to say.
That's the great thing about beer is like if depending on what mood you're in, you might be in the mood for a AVL IPA, Highland AVL. You might be in the mood for a sweeter beer. The hazy Tangerine Express, fucking Stone Tangerine Express, But that's the great thing. It's like you could be in all the different kind of moods. That beer is from like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, that's the one.
Here it is.
Yeah, I think this is my favorite one.
The only reason I tried so hard to find it is because it deserves the
Yeah, for sure.
publicity.
It does.
I really like that beer. I really
Secret
This
beer
is a
hug.
really good beer.
It's
Secret
good.
beer hug is the best one that we've had today.
The thing about Goose
Island
Island is like I
Secret
really
Beer Hug.
like the I like every other beer other than their like Indian Pale Ale.
So-
Like, their Pale Ale I don't really care for.
So we talked about disclaimers. I'm gonna give you guys a disclaimer. If you drink Goose Island's IPA, you will shit like a goose.
Yeah, but that's
Makes sense.
dude. Space does.
Nah, that's fine. Goose Island IPA, I will shit more than I've ever shit.
Never.
These
can't
beers,
remember.
yeah, it's fine. I ain't gonna lie to you. I
Shitting
had,
and farting.
I was shitting and farting today. I had like 3 of the best shits in my life today.
3, yeah, 3. Of the
I shit
best
3
shits
times.
of your life today.
I shit 3 times today, and all 3 of them were
You must have
phenomenal.
some bad shits.
No, all 3 of my shits today were very good.
They were good.
Yeah.
Can
So-
you name the best 3 shits of your life?
I can definitely name.
I
I can definitely name 2.
All right, let's
Yeah.
go.
Okay, so let me go ahead and tell you.
Paint the picture for us with your shit.
So I just had surgery. So my number 1 does not feel the best, but I needed it.
When you say number one, you mean like peeing or the number one shit?
I needed. You know what? Like I needed it the most, and I know I don't want to say this, but
You definitely want to say it.
So she needed to say. So she needed.
Nah, I'm gonna steer away from this conversation. I'm just fucking around.
Yeah. I think it's best that
If we steer away,
Yeah, if we steer away.
Nobody
If we
wants to hear this
steer
shit.
away. Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear this shit.
Okay. So
What's your movie? The House that Jack built.
The House that Jack built. So it is a really good. I'm gonna say. I mean, it's a really good horror / thriller about a psychopath who basically builds a house out of human bodies, and that's a
that sounds like House of a Thousand Corpses.
That's a huge spoiler, but I mean, it is like if you are somewhat intelligent, you can deduct that
Yeah, it's the house that he built.
the house that Jack built.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Now, if anybody watches it, you have to watch it until Act 3, but please do not watch it with kids. Like it is. I think it's very hardcore. It's very dark. Who is the guy from 90210? Luke.
Oh, I know. I can picture his face.
It's not Luke Wilson.
No,
It's,
that's Owen Wilson's brother. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Everybody can literally picture that guy. He was fucking guy from. Am I thinking? No,
something
I'm thinking
Luke
guy.
or Luke something.
I'm not thinking
Look
of the
it
wrong guy.
up.
I ain't gonna lie to you. The first thing I thought was the guy from Dawson's Creek,
I don't know that guy's name, but that's
the blonde guy. Is that him?
Yeah, no, that's not him.
Okay. What's the fucking? What are you talking about?
Just look up House that Jack built, main character or protagonist.
Luke Perry.
Luke Perry.
Oh,
that's
fuck.
it.
I never watched 90210.
Man, let me tell you right now, that is.
Rest in peace, Luke Perry. He passed away a few years ago.
Did he?
Yeah, like I think 4 years ago. I'll pull it back up. Luke Perry. Yeah, he passed away in 2019, 3 years ago.
Dude, well, let me go ahead and tell you right now. How did he die?
How did Luke Perry pass away? Massive stroke. That's crazy.
Look up when the house that Jack built was made.
All right, house that Jack built. And I just want to give a reminder to everybody. 2018.
I could see that performance messing him up, but it wasn't produced by a big name producer. It was like some French producer. It didn't get a lot of traction at all. This goes to the please don't let your kids watch this. There are a lot of they wouldn't show
It's
it.
very vulgar.
They wouldn't show it in theaters because it was so dark.
I can understand that. I'm going to watch it now.
There was a lot of scenes that was too dark.
What I want to go off of that is that life is so fucking unexpected that you got to love the people that are around you because you never know when a person like Luke Perry, for instance, could just have a stroke and fucking die. So love the people around you. But it's kind of funny. So I think me and Gabby started dating in 2017, and we started watching Riverdale. And she started watching it, and I was watching it with her, the new relationship thing. I was watching whatever the fuck she was watching. And Luke Perry was actually in that. And whenever he died in 2019, I was like, wasn't that the fucking guy in Riverdale? I watched it the first season. That was it. And I was like, wasn't that the fucking guy in Riverdale? And I was like, man, that dude was he just seemed like he was such a good actor. It was that's really the only thing I've ever experienced watching him in. But that's so crazy how those teeny bopper shows too can have really good fucking actors sometimes.
Yeah, don't judge anything based on the genre, don't judge anything based on the genre.
Well, and just one of your comments, we were talking about Almost Famous, the coming of age, films, and you were talking about Twilight. Robert Pattinson is a phenomenal actor, and people want to shit on him because of the Twilight stuff, the coming of age, the teeny bopper. Once again, that's the same exact genre, but Robert Pattinson's a phenomenal actor.
Was he good in Batman? I haven't seen the Batman.
It was solid.
Yeah.
It was a very good Batman
I
movie.
haven't seen the Batman.
I think Christian Bale is a better Batman, which is really hard to be Christian Bale's Batman. He's the greatest Batman of all time. But Robert Pattinson kind of segues into my movie of the week, which I'm going to recommend The Devil All the Time.
Huh.
The Devil All the Time is a film on Netflix, actually, who is it has Bill Skarsgård, who played Pennywise in the new It movie. It's got Tom Holland, who's the Spider-Man guy, the new Spider-Man. He actually plays a way darker role in this. He's not like that, happy-go-lucky guy. Tom Holland actually plays like a kid that kind of grew up in like a really poverty, like poor fucking household, but he like had to kind of fight for what he wanted,
Can you put all these in the show notes because I want to remember to watch that.
Yeah, let me look at what our timestamp is so I can like kind of mental note that. We're at 2 hours. Holy shit, we're at 2 hours in. It's 11:49 p.m. But yeah, so Tom Holland, Bill Skarsgård, and Robert Pattinson actually plays he plays a preacher in this film. So it's based in a southern town. I forget which town it is. But basically it's like the movie is based around like a town that's, really based on religion, but people still do a lot of fucked up shit. We talked a lot about religion in the podcast for the last 2 hours. But
which I still have to finish answering a question.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure. He's going to come back at some point, I would assume. He's probably in there shitting. But yeah, it's such a weird movie because it's like it shows you how like such a small town can have those fucking struggles between such strange people.
Like Footloose?
No
dancing.
It's really like that. Like,
oh no!
Like it's not like that, but like it's not like that. Like in the way Footloose is, but it kind of like it's like that strange.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like the way like people have like fucking rules and regulations, but it's just like the way people act and like how fucking fake people are. And it's so interesting. It's such a dark movie of how fucked up a small southern town can be, even though they claim to be so good.
It's called what now?
The Devil All the Time.
The Devil All the Time. What year was it made?
2018, I want to say. 2018, okay. 2019. I can pull it up.
2018 was a good year for horror.
Yeah, it's a psychological thriller. Which is, the same genre, basically. But The Devil... 2020. Sorry.
Okay.
So, yeah, The Devil All the Time is my film of the week. Yeah, Robert Pattinson plays a really like strange role that you don't see him play. Like you normally see him playing like a protagonist, or an anti-hero or like the main character, but he's kind of a side character in this film, and it's so dark that like you really appreciate his acting, but also like Tom Holland plays such a good role because you're so used to seeing Tom Holland in the superhero role. And he plays a fucking complete opposite of like a super dark, like anti-hero almost. And then the same with Bill Skarsgård, which you saw him playing Pennywise, but it's such a dark anti-hero based.
The Devil All the Time.
The Devil All the Time, yeah. So that's my film recommendation for the week.
I had to ask him like 3 or 4 times. What's it called again? It's just a weird name.
The Devil All the Time.
All the Time. It's on Netflix.
No, I got it now. Like I was good after the third.
The
fourth
Devil
time he said it
all the time.
Okay, listen,
you are not needed.
That's okay.
When it comes to
I don't need to be.
But the Devil all the time.
Okay, so if like,
thank you for stealing my green.
So he's back.
Yeah.
And he's got points to come up with.
I'm back.
Give
baby.
me my green tea back.
Well, you back, baby.
Oh no, this is mine at this point. But yeah, House of a Thousand Corpses. It's one of those films where like your first watch, you're like a little uncomfortable. You don't like it, but it's so different. It's so different that you want to come back to it.
The
Wasn't
first
that
time I
Rob
watched
Zombie's
it,
first.
I believe so.
director?
It was.
The first time I watched it, I was
That
so
was
uncomfortable
such
that
a-
I liked it.
Rob Zombie's one of those directors to where like you love or hate him. I get it. If you don't like the style, if you don't like, you just I get it. If you don't like it, I
Decor
get it.
porn.
I understand.
Decor porn.
But not. It's not over. It's not like too much.
Well, until the Halloween films that he did, Michael Myers. Those are a little ridiculous. But honestly, I don't want to like shift topics too much, but
to be honest, like it's like a fresh take on Michael Myers that you haven't
it was
seen
yes, exactly.
since, or like then, or like you know what I'm saying. Like
That's
it's
the
not-
only version of Michael Myers.
Yeah, it's,
that,
it's a fresh take on it, and you kind of like it.
Are you saying you like Jason X?
we have a Jason X mask in our house still.
I'm not. No, I don't. I'm not a fan of Jason X.
We
but-
still have that though. In our house right now, a mask of Jason X.
Well,
It's a cool fucking mask.
like no, it is a cool mask.
It is.
But it
But,
was a
and
horrible
the reason
movie.
we had
Oh,
that is
terrible.
because
Like-
I was Jason X for like when I was like 7 years old.
Dude, that was that long ago.
Yeah, he's 30.
No, like that seems like I'm thinking.
That
like,
was that long ago.
No,
How
I-
old are you, man?
I'm
Thanks,
thinking
man.
like when I was
Thanks.
like 25 that came out.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
I'm 35, maybe 36.
so
Yeah. So I was. If you were 25, I was 20.
I might be
That's not
35 or
right.
36. I'm not quite sure.
So like when that came out, it was like. I was
35?
Probably about 8, 9.
86,
Hell yeah, man.
born 86.
Did you ever feel something to where like when you hit 30 or
piss.
35, was there ever something that said like, man, like this is hitting? Like these ages are starting to rack up, and I'm starting to really feel this now.
32 was that year for me.
How so?
I don't know. It was just like, I guess that was the year that I realized I really answered the questions I was afraid to ask about the questions I had regarding Christianity pertaining to the Bible. And 32 is when I was like, you know what, screw it. Like, I'm answering these questions. It doesn't make sense. I'm gonna like.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
What drove you away from that whole thing? Like what? Like because you know so much about the Bible. What drove you away from it?
Well, first off, I want to say that my nurture and my environment growing up drove me to the Bible. So that was part of
Pretty common.
my
We all
upbringing.
have that. Yeah.
So I mean, I'm going to throw out a generality, just a blanket statement that I feel like most children, particularly sons, crave the approval of their father.
I can see that.
And I knew my father, like this guy. I don't know anything about like before, but how did he get into karate?
It's interesting because, like,
Was your dad into karate before he got into karate?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like sons have I don't want to say not carnal, but a deep desire, a subconscious drive to please, and not only please their father, but to be approved by their father.
Okay.
And for me, my father, still, like I'm still saying this, like as much as I said shout out to Pastor David Cox and Pastor Zach Ford, my dad is a genuine Christian. Like I got so much respect for genuine Christians who know what they believe, why they believe it. May not know all the answers, but are okay with that. And my father is one of those guys I've got so much respect for. But I will say that we have a desire, it's in our biological DNA to like please our father. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at least that's my opinion. And I knew that's what he was about. Like Bryant knew that's what, Kevin, y'all's dad was about.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong. And, assuming that he pursued karate because Kevin was, so into karate. He wanted his approval. But I wanted the approval of my father. And that's why I pursued it so hard. Now, it wasn't until I deconstructed my faith or deconstructed everything when I was 32 that I saw that. I saw that ingredient in me. And I'm like, maybe I'm not a Christian. Maybe I can answer these questions. And I'll get to the questions I had. Now, I could Google these. I could Google 1,000 contradictions, but I'm gonna narrow it down to like 2 or 3.
Okay.
But that was my biggest thing was I don't believe I ever was, a part of the faith.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see someone who had dedicated their life to Christianity like you did.
But it appeared that way, but you don't see the inside. On the inside, there's questions that I want to ask that I can't. Yeah. I can't ask myself. I can't answer, honestly, because if you were to create a cult or if you were to create a religion, I would create it to where, particularly if you were going to create a religion to control people,
okay,
I would make it to where to frown upon you questioning that. Like you can't question the religion itself.
Right.
That's a lack of faith that shows you're less than, so you don't question it. Anytime you question it, you're maybe struggling in the faith. And you don't ever want to be struggling. You want to appear to be strong in the faith.
Makes sense.
So, I know this is kind of off topic, but do you want to know the verses that I struggled with?
Sure.
So the first one was, and I apologize if I mess any of these verses up.
No disclaimers. Send it.
You're right. I have had a lot to drink.
You have.
Who hasn't?
Hey, you know what? Hey, cheers. Cheers to having a lot to drink sometimes. We get a little loose on the podcast. Cheers to the water bottle, I guess.
But I don't want anybody to see this as, I just don't want to be shitting on Christianity.
I get it.
You know what I mean? Because I have a lot of respect for the religion. Yeah. And I love the Bible. I really do. It's a great philosophical work that if you are not exposed to any teaching at all, you can learn a lot just studying the Bible.
You mean like morally or like?
Yep, morally.
I respect that so much because, and I haven't like said this too much, but I'm at a point like and as far as religion goes, where I'm not sure what I believe in, and maybe that's a part of the process where you struggle in your faith.
You're 23.
I am.
Yeah, that's part of growing up.
It is exactly.
Yeah. You're at a perfect point where you're. Start to questioning, why do I believe what I believe?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's so
don't ignore it.
It's so like I question a lot, and it's so strange to like think about, all the things like I used to believe. It's like whenever I was little, it's like maybe that was influenced by how I was raised, that free will, that exact free will conversation we had earlier.
Exactly.
But like I forgot where I was going with this. You know how the alcohol goes, but
yeah, I do.
But I'm not sure what I believe sometimes, and it's refreshing to hear someone that has such a definitive answer for what they do believe, such as yourself.
Well, we all want to know like why we're here, like what is what we're doing, like
how and why and what happens after.
Yeah, so it's very interesting to like. We are on this like sphere, this spiraling through
the atmosphere
in outer space. It's like, why are we here? Why are we doing the things we do? And It's interesting when we like try to fit into these social constructs of like, this person wants to fit in, this person doesn't. Like, is it really that important? It's very interesting to.
So what I want to do
years,
is
no one will know who you are.
So what I want to do is
except maybe your grandkids.
Well, you know what? I'm actually gonna. I was gonna change the subject back to what you were saying earlier, but honestly, like that's like the goal in life. In 100 years, nobody would know who you are, but like that's the whole point. Like it's not about you. Is it always about you? No, it's not. Sometimes
to you it is.
But why does it have to be?
You're right. It doesn't have to be, but to you, when you're living, you made every decision you downloaded on. Every software you downloaded on that computer was to benefit you. You know what I mean? Like I don't care anything about that computer.
Yeah, but like what benefits me? Does something that benefits me? Is it physical or mental for just me? No, because like where I'm at in life now, like what benefits me is seeing growth in other people, especially people that are younger than me. Which I'm like once again I'm 23. I'm pretty young. I'm looking at the bigger picture of eventually I'm going to be old and I have so much potential to pass down a lot to the generation before me right now, and so it's like. I don't see benefiting me as a physical thing. I see benefiting me as what benefits me is the satisfaction that I have passed down some knowledge to somebody that could benefit someone else.
That's fair.
So do you know why I do entertain the idea, the atrocious clause?
That was a graceful way to burp.
Yeah, I know. I've been burping
that was
all
so good.
podcast.
Yeah, that's the way
Anytime
it is.
you see this, like I've been trying.
Chocolate rain.
Yeah.
So stage right now,
23.
the pain.
23 Roblox guy over here.
Yeah.
Never played it.
No bullshit.
Never played Roblox in my life.
Listen.
I
don't care how many times you say it. I do not believe you.
Never.
Roadblocks.
No listen. Roblox.
Never been in a roadblock in my life.
Roadblocks.
It's kind of like the next step.
It's kind of like Minecraft, but
yeah.
I've never played it. I've seen people play it, but I've never
But
played
like
it.
people-
Roadblocks.
But like the
I
world,
need excuses.
like you design the games yourself, and like it encourages coding. It encourages
Chocolate rain. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Chocolate Rain's a popular song on there. My son plays it a lot.
Oh, is it actually?
It's on the.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah,
Chocolate Rain.
Never
and,
played Roadblocks.
I'm thinking of like It's Raining Tacos. Like, it's raining tacos
Oh, I've heard that.
from out of the sky.
I don't know.
Keep going. Keep singing it.
That's all I know.
Okay.
I feel like you know more. I feel like you're holding out.
Oh, I am.
You know what? I'm gonna use this time right now as a plug. So we always talk about thank you so much for the people that are listening, and like subscribe, leave the thing, but like leave the 5-star review or whatever.
Yeah,
you like.
yeah. It's always.
But honestly though, tell your people that you are the people you're friends with, the people you love. If you like the podcast, tell them about it.
for sure.
But there's not enough word of mouth. I feel like
Yeah.
that's where the podcast is going to grow. Like obviously we want the podcast to grow, but we're in real. I'm studying. Realistically, we want
Another one.
realistically we want the podcast to grow,
We do.
and like we're having a good time, regardless if it grows or not. But at the end of the day, we want it to grow, and where it's going to grow is the people that listen is going to, if they
like that,
spread the podcast. So the people that you are enjoying hanging around, the people you think would like the podcast, tell them to
Yeah,
listen
hit
to
the
it.
like and subscribe button. Even if you're listening on Spotify, like just switch
Like-
over, make that like and subscribe.
Like,
It goes a
subscribe,
long way.
leave a comment because that helps the algorithm on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube,
It does.
comment
It does.
in the
Damn,
comment section.
we paid him to do
You
this.
need traffic in the comment section
We paid Brent
to
say
elevate yourself to elevate anything in the Google algorithm. Google owns YouTube. But anyway, so going back to what I was saying earlier, the only reason I entertained the whole, Yeah, we're dumbasses. Da da da. Even though I know you don't believe you're a dumbass, listen. Even though you say you are, I know you don't believe it because you would not argue anything as passionately as you do if you truly believed you were a dumbass.
It's true.
But the only reason I entertain it is because 10 years from now, the 33-year-old version of you, you are a dumbass. Or unless you get like addicted to drugs.
So you lost me.
that.
You said you don't think I'm a dumbass, but in 10 years from now, I'll be a dumbass.
You will be a dumbass. Like when you look back at yourself 10 years from now, you're going to look back at yourself and like, dude, I was such a dumbass.
I don't think I will.
I think you will.
I don't think I will
think
at all.
everybody does.
You know why? You know why I don't think I'll think that?
Unless you get like some crazy drug addiction or something like that.
No, I'll tell you why I don't think I'll think that. Because right now, I feel like I've done the best I could possibly do right now. Yeah, in 10 years from now, I'll be like, oh yeah, I could have done this and that. But hindsight's 20/20. You can always looking back and being like, yeah, I could have done this. I could have been way better if I would have done this.
Can I politely ask you to pause for a second?
Yes.
33-year-old version of Bryant Newsom. I want you to look back 10 years from yourself and comment on this very moment. Are you a dumbass compared to who you are now? He's going to say yes.
Okay, it's 12:10 a.m. October 23rd, 2022. Let's mark that.
Like, that's up
I
to you.
don't think I will.
I hope you will.
But like right
But
now,
I'll
like,
look back to myself when I was 23 years old.
I get it.
I mean, like you, like
Yeah, I get it.
okay. Compare yourself to 13 years old.
so really, like whenever I was
Like,
13,
we
I
do
guess.
not give older people enough credit.
So what I'm going to
Because
say,
they go through so much more. I apologize.
I think 13 is too far back because 13, I feel like I didn't have enough understanding of how the world worked. I would say more like 5 years ago.
Your cognitive development stages were completely done, and
At 13,
yep,
it doesn't seem that way to me.
it
Like
was.
whenever I was 13, I don't think I knew exactly what was going on. Like if I think about like what I did at 13, I don't think I based that off of anything that I had control over.
Let me go ahead and tell you, when you're 33, you're going to look back at 23 and feel the same exact way.
I could definitely see that coming.
I'm okay with that.
As a 30-year-old male, I can definitely
Like,
see
so you're
what
30.
saying. Yeah. for
So
sure.
look back at yourself when you're 20. Dude, that's 1 year away from legally being able to like drink alcohol.
For sure.
You know, I mean, that's 2 years into
Sure.
adulthood.
So what would
Yeah.
you do different?
That's
Me,
like,
I wouldn't do anything different. I'm planning this. Like, what my lifestyle now, I've been working for a long time.
So you wouldn't do anything different.
I personally, no. I mean,
So how could you consider yourself a dumbass 10 years ago?
No. Only you can say that, because if I'm comparing you to the 33 version of you, 33-year-old version of you, this version is a dumbass.
Well, yeah, compared to the growth, because I'm going to grow.
Yeah, that's what.
But
that's the only reason I entertain that. is
But right
because
now,
of
I
that
haven't
right there.
grown. I'm not 33 right now, so I can't.
You're not.
I can't look back 10 years ago and be like, I should be as good as I am now. That's stupid. That doesn't make sense.
33-year-old Bryant, please, in 10 years, comment on this video, please.
33-year-old Bryant is going to look back and say, Bryant was right.
what the fuck?
No, 33-year-old Bryant is going to be like, holy shit, Brent is the smartest dude. I wish I would have asked him a lot more.
No, you,
Crabman
you
is
should
the
have said-
smartest
you
guy.
know what you should have said?
I wish I would have texted him every day.
You should have
and
said.
ask him for daily advice.
You should have said
I'm joking.
Bryant at 5 p.m. at October 22nd was a dumb guy. And then he was like, you know what? Brent was way smarter. I should have listened to Brent at 5 p.m. on October 22nd. Currently, it's the 23rd.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that? Whenever you made the suggestion for this guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
It seemed like you didn't remember.
No. I will always remember this, because this podcast right now would not exist if it were not
It's true.
for my intelligence.
Shout out to the Crabman.
And
Shout out to the Crabman.
I tried to tell him,
He tried.
He did.
He
I
tried to tell
tried.
me.
but they just like They just don't listen.
They ain't listening.
They ain't listening.
Ain't
Hey,
listening.
you know what? Sometimes it's the ego thing, man.
Yeah.
They got to be
No,
better than the other one.
No, but when you I hope you learn a little bit more patience.
I did.
Quicker than I did. But yeah, so I do want to answer the original question about why I left Christianity.
Okay.
Regarding to the verses. So I feel like we're at, part 3 or maybe even part 4 of this answer.
Sure. For sure.
But I think it's John 20. It talks about this was the first thing. I mean, this is not something I read it in the text. This is what really bugged me. Number 1 was in John 20, you can find that when Jesus died on the cross, he was buried. He resurrected 3 days later.
Damn.
He came to Mary Magdalene.
Okay.
And Mary Magdalene.
Okay. Well,
The Mormons believe that was his wife, but I don't.
they got plenty of them.
Man,
Yeah,
I
plenty of
hate to
Marys.
tell you this, but Shawn is fucked up right now.
Yeah, we all are. Yeah, we all are.
He falling asleep.
No, you ain't.
At the table.
I'm just listening.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, Mary Magdalene said, Jesus asked her in John 20.
On the cross.
You can look this up at home. John 20. I believe that's what it is. He asked her, woman, why do you weep? And, she basically, she kind of gives the layout of what just happened. Then he goes to take it easy, Sean. You can watch this on the playback.
I'm interested.
So Mary comments, basically realizes Jesus, and she wants to embrace him and hug him and touch him.
Right.
And he said, touch me not, for I have not yet ascended to my Father. But several verses later, I think we're talking about verse 12, the Mary.
This is the book of John.
Yeah, 2012. Again, I've had a lot to drink, but 2012, and then in verse 20, so 2020 or maybe 2016, John 2016, he says he appears in the room where the disciples are, and Thomas does not believe that it's Jesus, and he says, touch me. He does not say, touch me not, for I have not yet ascended to my Father. He tells Thomas, touch my sides. Put your hands in my hands, to see where, so you can know. That's why everybody calls him Doubting Thomas. And that's always stuck with me because, and I've always wondered, why does Thomas get to touch him and not Mary? Because he has not yet ascended to his Father. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
That's number one.
And so what's going through my head right now is, and I hate to be like the guy that's thinking about what I'm going to say next, but really what I'm thinking, what's running through my mind is, what is this making you feel? When's the last time you've talked about all these things because obviously you have a very vast knowledge of, religion and Christianity or Calvinism, whatever you want to say that you believed in Calvinism, but excuse me, you believed in Calvinism, but Christianity is the root of that. And talking about all this, what does this make you feel going back to that?
Oh, it honestly makes me feel peace because shout out to my children because I know that the gift of deep thinking has been passed on to them. Holden Paisley Ames. I'm saying aims by faith because he's one.
Right.
I don't know
Yeah.
how his mind works yet.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I've got my kids. They both have a deep thought, and I'm not swaying them not to be Christian. I'm just
Right.
like if they are
Free
if they-
thinking.
If they want to be Christian, I want them to decide on their own accord. I don't want to influence them to be Christian.
Right.
You know, even though like I kind of want them to be Christian because their life would be easier in the South.
How would it be easier?
In the South? That's just
Because like
It-
less
it-
judgment.
you know, anytime you're living in a culture, life is easier if you adapt the religion.
Assimilate.
The religion of the culture.
Okay.
And we live in the South. Their life will be so much easier in the South if they adopt Christianity. If the future progresses like I think.
So do you
it
think it'll be a better life if they have an easy life?
will. I think it'll be a lot easier.
But no, that's not what I asked. Do you think their life will be better if their life is easier?
That's a good question.
Because there's some moments in my life. I mean, like I say with the way I teach is things aren't easy. So whenever you deal with the hardships, you're gonna become better because of that. So if your life is easy, just like we were talking about earlier, you know, sometimes you don't respect a person that has had the most cushy, easy life where they've had everything handed to them, you know. So is it better for them to have an easy life, or do you want them to have a life that, you know, they think for themselves, but you know it might be fucking harder.
So if I had my idea, if I could, I wish my kids were lazy, hypocritical Christians, because that's the
It's getting
norm.
heavy in this motherfucker.
That's the norm around here.
Yeah.
In our culture, and I feel like if you can accept that you're if you can be a Christian and be lazy about your faith, and be like half-hearted and not really follow what the Bible teaches, I feel like that's an easier, better life. And regardless of, I don't know if I can answer that question of which one is better, but like I want what's easiest for my children.
And where I want to
'Cause
go
I
with
don't
that,
want them to struggle.
where I want to go with that is, I want to say at the age of 18, I really didn't want to refer to myself as a Christian because I didn't want to make Christians look bad. And like, cause I knew that I was that hypocritical person where I was, you know,
That's fair.
I wasn't living a life that was, you know, like the Bible, like you were saying, like living a life for the Bible, or, you know, living a Christian life. You know, I wasn't doing that. You know, I mean, I believed in God at the time, you know, or I mean, I still believe in, you know, a higher power or a God now. I mean, I'm not going to say it's a Christian God, but I don't disagree that, you know, there's something there. I mean, we're not just here because of whatever, but regardless of that.
My question to the Crabman is, what is all like? What are we doing here?
What is the meaning of life? Is that what you're asking?
Like, yeah, what's
You don't have that answer.
what are we doing here?
No, I do. I do have thought a lot about this answer.
The reason why I ask him this is because this is a person who has dedicated his life to that question. And it's very interesting to me to see, after all of it,
So answer.
you've spent your life studying religion. What's the answer?
So, what is life? I'm asking both of you guys this. What is life?
To me, life is just
Existing. Some would say that. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's just existing. I think it's, you know, that but going back to the free will thing is, how do you influence other people? You know, just being there and like the time you're in, but what's your influence on everything and your time? I think that's life to me.
Does that answer the question for the person that grew up in solitude?
I don't think it does. To me, life is just like life at its purest form is like you said, is life at free will. Absolute free will is life to me. That's what we all want it to be. Is like to experience life at its purest form, and I don't think that absolute free will exists.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know what the word solitude means.
Solitude means solitary. The game solitary, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Means you're playing a game by yourself.
By yourself.
So solitude means you're by yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So people are born by themselves.
Sure.
Maybe were raised by someone up until they're like 5 or 6. Their parents die. They're in the wilderness by themselves.
Like solitude confinement.
Is that life meaningless?
Why would it be?
To what?
Why would it be meaningless?
Oh, because they have no one to interact with.
But they do. I mean, like, if you
That's
grew
what
up...
solitude is just you. Solitude means like you're confined.
But is anybody ever really...
your own thoughts.
Is anybody ever truly in solitude?
Yeah, no, okay.
There's plenty of people who are.
Let me paint a picture.
Plenty of people who are.
Give me an example.
So let's say
Solitude confinement is you. That's what people are sentenced to.
So how old are they in prison?
Okay, no,
I
okay.
mean, I don't know the answer to that.
I mean, you have to be
but,
18 plus to be in
Yeah,
prison.
but
So
solitude confinement is a thing to where like
you were in solitude before that is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but people do experience moments of just themselves and only themselves.
I mean, people experience moments of solitude. But there's never a single person on this planet that has lived in solitude.
You can't say that.
Well, I can.
You like I can. Okay, so can I paint a picture?
Sure.
Okay, so let's say Calhoun Falls in the middle of Calhoun Falls, South Carolina. Shout out Calhoun Falls.
Cheers.
Yep.
Cheers, Calhoun Falls.
Cheers, Zaxby's.
Wouldn't it be good
big.
to go big right now?
Oh man, that big Zach snack.
Big Zach snack.
Oh,
yeah.
So Calhoun Falls.
So let's say you grew up in the middle of nowhere, Calhoun Falls.
Okay, we listen.
Okay, your dad is super religious, and the mom dies. You're only child. You're 8 years old. You die. I mean, not the 8-year-old, but the father dies of like a broken heart, or I don't know, like
sure,
just, yeah.
So
the 8-year-old is by himself in the middle of Calhoun Falls, and like Calhoun Falls has nothing but woods around it.
Right.
So what? And I mean, this is just South Carolina here. I'm just throwing out an example.
How did we get here? First off,
Okay. So what does the person? So like, does that person never meets anyone
right
in his entire life?
Yeah.
And I'm using his because I am a man, and like that works.
We don't care. Yeah.
Okay. So, like, he is 100% in solitude after his father dies when he's 8 years old. His mother died when he's like 6. Okay. Is that person's life meaningless if he never meets someone and he dies at like the age of 15 or the age of 20?
The question I have is like, what's considered meaningless at that point? Like,
based on his definition of the meaning of life.
No, it's not.
You have no other life that you're impacting.
Because if you're going to live in the wilderness, you're going to have to hunt. You're going to have to survive.
So you're impacting other like plant life,
yes,
other
exactly.
animal life.
You're still interacting with life.
So this is where I wanted you guys to be. Okay, so life, like human life, is not the only life that matters on this planet.
I agree.
Okay, and you mentioned it before. You kind of spoiled it, but the meaning of life. Yeah. Look at a tree. Look at a deer. The meaning of life is to exist.
The meaning of life is to
nothing
exist.
more, nothing less.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Just exist.
Just to exist.
I'm going to be completely honest with you.
I can respect that.
I feel like that's a good way to end this podcast.
I mean, like, I'm good to go further, but like, if you guys want to end it, I'm good with that.
We all are. How far are we in? Are we?
We're 2 hours and 40 minutes. This is our longest podcast yet.
So I see we got 4 beers left. You guys want to end when there's no more beers? You bet. Yeah.
Listen, there's some beauty into what you're saying for sure. Like,
Okay, here. I didn't get to my second.
All right. Well,
The second reason I left Christianity.
just whenever I say I tried, just remember that in about an hour from now.
Okay.
You'll know what I mean.
yeah, it's good to run one long. This is our longest podcast.
It is by 28 minutes.
So
that's a good sound, ain't it?
So the second reason, the second verse that I was afraid to answer when I left Christianity, and we're talking about these questions were in my mind when I was like 8 or 9.
Okay.
And I just would not address them.
Yeah.
So
Now, what brought these? Like, why wouldn't you address them at the time?
because I didn't, like, remember earlier I said if you question the faith, you're down low. You know what I mean? Like, you have weak faith.
Right.
So I wanted to be up high.
And
You know what I mean? I wanted strong faith.
I want to go to the question of when did you develop that? When did you turn towards Calvinism? Like, what made you turn towards that?
Dude, Calvinism. It wasn't until I met. If you read the Bible, I think the Bible promotes Calvinism pretty clearly.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, because, like, dude, you cannot tell me, like, and to the Christians watching at home, read Romans 9 and tell me in Ephesians 2, read Romans 9 and Ephesians 2, and tell me that if you still adopt that plan, you know what I mean, like that religion as part of, like, your belief system, answer to me that God is not in control of everything after reading Romans 9 and Ephesians 2. And plus, I always wanted to go to God in Judgment Day, giving him more credit than not giving him enough.
And so the reason I asked this,
I would rather give God, like, either God and shout out Zach Ford, Pastor Zach Ford.
Okay, shout out Zach Ford
and Clayton. I would rather give either God is in control of all things or man is. Either God is playing the game of chess with himself or man is moving the pieces himself.
Can I get a timeout and say that I've been meaning to address this before this podcast or during this podcast, but your shirt looks like a Fisher-Price toy.
It's supposed to. It was a birthday gift.
I get it.
Hey, all right, so can I address this?
Yeah.
You've already addressed that.
Oh, well. Continue.
So where I was going to go with that is I didn't want to, like, stray you off of the like your thoughts of whenever you were 8 and, like, you were battling those thoughts of, fighting against the Christianity or whatever, the thoughts of, because that's what faith is all about, is being faithful.
Faith. Yeah.
But sometimes you're going to stray away from that faith.
Yeah.
But that's where you were going with that. But I didn't want to stray away from that. I just wanted to know, like, what age you were at whenever you kind of developed the.
Like when I questioned it?
Whenever you were moving towards Calvinism. What age were you?
So I'm telling you, like, I read, like,
just roughly. I'm just curious.
I mean, like, my life. Like, I read the Bible.
Whenever you moved towards Calvinism.
No. Like, when I knew it was Calvinism?
No, whenever you, like, 8 years old, you weren't saying, oh, yeah, I believe in Calvinism. Because your dad wasn't, like, a Calvinist.
I was probably 22.
I don't know if that's okay. That's the answer I was looking for.
Yeah. So I was 22, and I just realized. So I've always like, if you believe 100% of Scripture as truth, you realize that most people you're surrounded by do not believe that. And if you if you are a Christian, and this is my number 3 reason. So I'll pull my number 3 to number 2, and then I'll move my number 2 to my number 3.
Math.
Good?
Yep.
Makes sense.
So
Checks out.
yeah. So my number 3 / number 2 reason for abandoning the faith is that if you are a Christian, the majority of the people that you know, the way to Jesus Christ is narrow, and few find it. That's what Scripture teaches us. So, if you genuinely feel that, then the majority of the people that you know, if you're a Christian, will be burning in hell within 100 years from now.
Damn.
So, when's the last time someone knocked on your door?
When you say knocked on your door, what do you mean?
Ago, trying to sell some shit.
When's the last time someone knocked on your door trying to convert you
Oh,
to the good news gospel of Jesus Christ?
Never. What's the point in you asking this question?
The point is if someone truly believed the gospel as good news and the message of the Bible, they would believe that within 100 years, the majority of the people, the majority of their friends
Will be burning in hell.
would be burning in hell. If you knew that your dad, Kevin,
Sure.
was going to be trapped in a house fire
For eternity.
or we'll just say a house fire without the heaviness of eternity. If he was going to be trapped in a house fire,
A year from now.
let's just say
Next week.
December 10th, 2022, what would you be doing?
You'd fucking burn the house down now.
Yeah,
You would get rid of the house.
Yeah,
You would do whatever you
Everything
could.
you could to prevent that.
Yeah.
Like prevent it, honestly.
So why? And I know where you're going with this. Why do these Christians that? And I don't want. Whenever I say why do these Christians, that sounded so demeaning. I didn't mean it to sound that way. But why do Christians not fucking do that? Why do they not actively try to make people and not make people, but convince people that the gospel or the word of Christ is, truth?
Because it's not real.
You know that Bring Me the Horizon has some lyrics that kind of stuck with me, is that everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die.
Kenny Chesney has something like that, but I can't think of it. It's not as good as that.
I feel like it is.
Everybody wants to
I
go
know
to
where you're
heaven.
going with that. I know those
everybody
words,
wants.
but-
Oh yeah, Kenny Chesney says everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to go now.
Yeah, I remember that song. Whenever me and Dad used to get Hardee's on Fridays mornings on the way to school.
Oh, everybody got a little
Hey.
country anthem.
Cheers, Kevin Newsom.
Hey, cheers, Kevin Newsom. Hey, you probably listen to this
That's
shit.
a damn good
Hey,
dad.
a wise man once said, "There's a many a slip between a cup and a lip."
From
There it is.
from one dad to another, you're a good man.
He's the
For
best
real.
man. For real.
He really is.
He really is.
But yeah,
He toed the line and toed the best.
it's one thing. I'm fascinated by Christianity, and it's because I'm at that age where I'm struggling with my faith, and I don't really know what I want to believe in. I think I know. I think I do, but I'm not sure.
Well, it seems like we're all here for some kind of reason. What that reason is nobody knows. You can pretend to think that it's Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior. Like you can pretend to think that, or maybe you do think that, and it's not a pretend. But
No, the people
at the end
there
of the day,
are,
we all think man, we don't know why we're here.
there are people that people that the people that believe that, the people that say they legitimately believe that. I can't say all of them do, but I can say every member of my family does. They genuinely believe that with the bottom of their core.
There's some beauty in that though. Like there's some
Yo,
beauty.
no, that's why I have
into-
so much respect.
You can say fucking.
There's
Yeah, we can cut some of the podcast.
yeah. Sorry. That's why I have so much respect for genuine believers.
There's some beauty into like
And like my family are genuine believers, and I have so much respect for
because
them.
Christianity really brings on like a lot of good qualities, like just good morals, like
Yeah.
respect your elders, like really like I know that sounds kind of corny, but there's like a lot of like good qualities and good morals that Christianity brings on, and then like
I'm gonna be honest. I kind of expect you to go that way, but like, what is stopping? Like, life just existing. That's the meaning of life, is existing,
Yeah.
right? That's what you think is the meaning of life.
Yeah, the meaning of life, period. Like, or I guess the meaning of life, I guess colon would be to exist.
To exist.
Like that's my answer to many years of meditating on that particular question.
And so, do you think whenever you're 45 years old, you'll look back and think you're an idiot?
Yes.
So, is that the meaning of life then?
I don't know.
But you were very confident.
I'm very
seconds ago.
confident right now.
Yeah.
I agree with.
Are you a good coach? Are you a good coach when it
I don't
comes?
think I am.
You went to Italy, so
And we lost.
yeah, but like you went. So
Yeah,
like,
that's
if
fine.
you didn't think he was a good coach, you wouldn't have went.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, that is true.
I think there's some truth in that. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, because if you would have been embarrassed to go.
No, that's not how I looked at it.
Yeah, because you know you're a good coach.
I looked at it in the way of
You want to improve it as a coach.
I want to improve as a coach. Exactly how I looked at it. I looked at it in a way of like, I can learn and he can learn. This is an experience he'll never.
But the fact
have.
that you can say that you wanted to improve as a coach proves that you are qualified.
I mean, be qualified,
sport.
yeah, but
You like does that
I
make
don't.
sense?
I don't think I'm a good coach. I want to be a good coach, and that's why I went.
So is his name
Caden.
like Caden? Yeah, I was gonna say Caden.
Shout out Caden. He's
Shout out
Shout out
Caden.
Caden.
Cheers,
Yeah,
Caden.
He's probably not listening to this, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We'll make it short. I'll send it to him,
Okay. That's
and
fair.
nobody else will see it. But
So I think when it comes to are you a good coach, you need to ask Caden.
I mean, I'm sure he thinks I am. But
Have you
I've
seen
asked him, and
improvement?
he would agree that he
well,
is.
But
what-
you're his older brother, so you're not gonna get it.
well, hold on. What would you think? Would you say if you asked your son, "Am I a good dad?" What would your son say?
My son would give me the honest answer. My daughter would tell me what I wanted to hear.
Okay, ask your wife. Am I a good dad?
I'm scared to ask that.
But do you think it's such a small sample size? Though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know,
But
but
my students have only had one coach.
yeah,
So how
yeah.
can they say I'm a good or bad coach?
Yeah, but like it's a small sample size, but every person that matters is in that sample size.
That's true.
So like
That's true. That's true.
Sure.
I can't go by my kids because my daughter is going to base my feelings in the answer, and my son is going to be brutally honest, partially leaning toward whichever one hurts my feelings, and my wife, I would be scared. I'm kind of scared to ask that question to.
Really?
I mean,
So we should have Paris on the podcast next.
I like it. Let's do it. Let's do
We'll
it.
have that
Dude.
question ready for her.
dude, yeah, like no, I love Paris.
She really fits you well, man. Y'all really meld together like as one.
No, so what you aren't calculating into any of this is that I got married when I was like 22, 23.
Okay.
So I was 32 when I came to this conclusion that, dude, I'm not a Christian.
That's the most interesting thing
So
for me is that
what do I think about my wife who thought she joined? She got with a guy because she wanted to be a pastor's wife. That's my perspective. So you know what happened when I asked her? You never asked me what I thought. You never asked me what I believe.
That's tough.
I was so self-centered and self-focused
On yourself and
on myself and what I believed and leading the family and a man's role and being the head.
That you kind of put her and her personal feelings to the side.
Yeah. I assumed.
That's fair.
And I never considered what she actually believed. Now, she was she was a submissive wife. And like she was I love Paris with all my heart.
Yeah.
You know.
She seems like an amazing mother.
Oh, the best.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's kind of where I stand. That's kind of where, you know what I mean? That's like, whenever I assumed, you know what I mean? I assumed divorce. You know what I mean? Like that's another reason that kept me where I was for so long.
Okay.
Yeah, that's another variable.
Yeah.
It's like she wanted to be the pastor's wife. So
and it's crazy.
I can't answer these questions.
It's like you have dedicated your life to becoming this, just God fearing. Like let's push religion and let's talk about it. Let's talk about religion and let's you know the Bible better than anybody I know personally. Like I don't know anybody,
but I don't know it very well. I will say that there's a lot of people
say that, but like you know it pretty well to me at least.
If you have Pastor David Cox, Pastor Zach Ford on here, you're gonna find out how deep that Bible goes.
But in a way, it's like, and you say you have a wife that has dedicated her life to being a pastor's wife. It's like you've dedicated your life to it. It's interesting to see someone who has done that completely do a 180 and change everything that they thought they have spent their life on. Because to me, it's crazy when we have all, and I think this is definitely for Southern Baptists and people who have grown up in our age, people who have spent their life being told one thing to believe, and then they kind of get shunned if they necessarily have like questions about it. Like, man, there's some stories in the Bible that are very questionable.
Okay, pause. I want to address these. I do. I got to pee. Cheers.
Cheers. Hey, we back.
It's really good to have the Crabman here in the podcast, the original first guest of the Brew Collar podcast.
I'm super honored. I really am.
To me, I've always have been. I don't know if you listened to the last podcast or not, but we're all a product of our environment in a way. Like, you might look up to this person or you might look up to that person. And you might take a little bit from this person or a little bit from that person. That kind of creates who you are as a human being. And the little bit that I take from you is just absolute, like, just the ability to think for yourself.
Yeah, I see a lot of like your mindset is growth. Like you wanna learn yourself, but not just for yourself.
Yeah.
I appreciate that because that's the mindset that I have, is that I want to learn for myself, but I also want to learn for other people that are around me.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, but we have different perspectives and different worldviews, and for me, personal fitness isn't anywhere near the top. Like I feel like our bodies adapt to the life we live. Period.
But the life we will live depends on the life that you live. Like you can carry yourself a little bit further in this life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no. I completely agree. I'm not saying you shouldn't exercise or anything like that. Okay. What I'm saying is, I think that's what binds us, and that's what attracts us to each other as friends, because how you guys are like that with you guys are like that mentally as well physically, but I put all of that effort mentally.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
So
like how you guys don't view like reading books as like a big deal.
No, I get it.
You know, I see as somebody who's being a little lazy.
That's fair.
You know,
And so for me,
how you would view someone who doesn't work out as being a little lazy.
That's fair.
I don't
like
though.
that.
I don't look at it that way.
Really?
I don't.
Okay.
I look at it as
Apologies.
Well, I mean, like I look at it in the way of like you look at it, you know, maybe like lazy of like I don't want to read, but I'm not. I don't want to learn like the things you're going to learn from reading a book. I want to learn from experience and physical experience. So I feel like it's the same experience.
So you want to experience things just live, like just
And like the
experience
reason
them.
I say so active is because that's where I learned the most about myself.
I like that.
That's a guru's philosophy.
But also like whenever I look at you and I'm like, you don't enjoy like you're not learning from physical activity as much. You're learning way more through fucking reading books.
But
I appreciate it just as much as I appreciate the physical activity.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I had that. I will say this: I had that season, and I like. You need to be improving both
What's
mind,
the meaning to all this?
mind and body.
What's the meaning to
The
all
meaning is just to exist, but you can enhance your experience, and you can do more than just.
Is it worth even enhancing? Like,
Yeah. Like some people get 3 months of life. Some people get 8 years of life. Some people get 20 years of life. Some people get, 107 years of life.
Do you think
There's a lot
it's
of
worth
examples.
having children in this environment?
Oh, absolutely, because children bring out, and children give you so much fulfillment, and all you did was have sex with someone.
So it's just for you whenever you have kids.
No, because you are bringing life. Right now, if all of us were to die, I would live on. You guys would not,
Why's that?
because I have kids.
You would live on?
I would live on through my kids.
He's kind of right in the point because his kids are going to
Your
take
bloodline has not
certain
passed.
aspects of
Like-
his
But
personality.
like, what I was saying is at the
and
end of the
live
day,
them
is
on.
it about you?
No. It's not about me, but
But the point you made was I would live on.
I would
You
live
started
on.
the sentence with I.
Yeah, you're right.
fair.
Like you are right. But do you have anything to represent you in 50 years from now if you die today?
Yes.
What?
The way I teach karate.
Okay. Yeah, and like that's something we could, we can talk about, like and dissect at a later date. But when it comes to, dude,
But I'm not doing it. I'm not doing
children-
it to represent me. I'm doing it to make to create a better generation than I was. So my generation was here. I want the generation that developed because of me to be here.
but that's the way parenting and kids are. You know what I mean? Like you're having kids. Now I'm not saying you should have, dude, you have as many as you want, but you're going to be like, I want my kids to have it better than I had it. And you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what I do question is that saying where it says, was it soft men create soft times?
Good
Times
men create hard men create easy time. Like hard men create easy times. Easy times create soft men. Soft men create hard times.
Yes.
Hard times create hard men.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Hard
true.
men create
It's
soft
true.
times, and soft times create soft men. So is my son and my daughter, my sons and my daughter, are they going to be soft or are they going to be hard? I don't know.
Well,
The question I want to ask, I don't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
go ahead. Oh, well, what I'm saying is, like you were talking about, you want your kids to live a life without struggle. That's a soft time.
That is a soft time.
Yeah.
And
I have considered this.
and that's where I was going earlier. I didn't word it quite as well as now.
Yeah.
Sometimes the words just come to
sometimes
you.
it takes 4
Sometimes
hours.
the word,
Sometimes
exactly.
you've been drinking since 12.
Sometimes the words just come to you,
My question to you is, go ahead.
But like, do you want them to struggle? Because struggle creates a good person.
It does.
Struggle creates
There's
a good
beauty-
fucking person.
Yeah, there's beauty in it, man.
It does. And I want to say it was Rockefeller or Hemingway or Westinghouse. It was one of these, original OG entrepreneurs, 1900s.
What is OG? Explain OG to the audience.
That is original gangsta. No, it was shout out Jimbo OG. You know you are.
Jimbo Fisher,
I was like,
the guy that fucking took a L
No.
today.
Listen, man, there's
No. Okay. I want to finish this. But who was the Steelers coach?
Mike
Tomlin.
Okay, Mike Tomlin. But I want to talk about Mike Tomlin. Remind me of Mike Tomlin if I get lost
Okay.
in this talk. But when it comes to the OG, I think it was Westinghouse who said the worst thing for a child is to grow up knowing he has money and he knows everything that he ever needs is provided for them.
I agree with that.
I want to say it's Westinghouse, but I could be wrong. But that quote does exist
creates-
around the 1900
So,
time frame.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I grew up feeling that, but I also grew up feeling in the exact same time. I grew up feeling that came with a price. I didn't grow up. I grew up thinking that he's got it fucking covered. Like thinking about my dad, he's got it covered, but he paid the fucking price. He worked his fucking ass off for that to happen. It wasn't like it just happened.
What did he do for a living?
Put in windshields. He still does it.
Okay. Shout out Kevin.
Very physical,
Cheers,
very
Kevin.
physical job. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, I think the main question that we really want to ask you is, I've never met anyone who has spent their entire life. Think about all the people who are very religious in your life. Like, to the listeners, all the people who are religious in your life, think about them and think about, have you ever met anyone who has spent their entire life to Christianity and then completely take a 180?
But I spent so long trying. I feel like I spent so long trying to convince myself that this was right.
So you think you wasted time?
Yeah. No, because I wouldn't trade anything I learned. I wouldn't trade any of it.
What do you think? Like, what do you think this is? Like, what we are experiencing now. Like, what do you think it is? Do you believe in a God? Do you believe in a higher power?
I don't know if I can honestly answer that.
So where I want to go with that is, you say that.
But yes,
you wouldn't
yes, I
change-
do believe in higher power.
You're saying
I
you
do too.
you wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't change one thing
Why not?
because it created me to be who I am. I'm caring. I'm a good person, and I have contributed positively. I have contributed positively to a lot of people's lives.
I'm gonna be honest with you. You're a very humble person, and you saying that,
Means a lot.
I know that you fucking believe it,
Yeah.
and you should believe it. But where I want to go with this is, 10 years ago, would you say that you were stupid?
Absolutely.
You were a fucking idiot.
I was a dumb ass.
Because why?
Because, dude, like if you're committed to growth, and every day I'm committed to growing more and becoming better and thinking better and processing thoughts better and processing emotions, like with like, does that make sense?
It does, but
But like when I'm 45, I hope I look back. I hope I can look back and look at myself and say, man, he was a dumbass. But I am a dumbass only compared to myself in years from now. Only compared to the future me.
you're a
not
dumbass.
right
You're a
now
dumbass
at
because you
this-
didn't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, not right now at this.
You were a
present
dumbass
moment.
before because you didn't know. That doesn't make you a dumbass. It makes you ignorant. You were ignorant before.
True.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
But ignorance is bliss. You didn't know.
But we
You tried your best. though.
We all learn as we grow. I mean, just to acknowledge that, like, okay, I was wrong. Just
We all
shows
learn.
signs of growth.
Do we all learn as we grow, or do we all learn to grow?
both.
I think both is the answer. It's a safe answer for sure. Like that's.
I mean, it's not a safe. I mean, it's not. I'm not trying to be safe.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
I
fair.
think that's the
that
answer.
is the answer. Yeah, it's fair. Like we both learn as we grow, and we both grow as we learn in a way.
As a coach, as a
that's
teacher,
fair, yeah.
I'm constantly growing.
We're
like,
all on this
learning how to
planet.
teach better. But
Like to me, like we're all in this sphere. We're all learning as this motherfucker spins.
this motherfucker do be spinning.
This motherfucker be spinning. Like we're spinning as we learn. It's like, I mean, what is considered weird to you? Because what we are doing right now is extremely weird. Existing. We have a podcast. We have friends on podcasts. Like, you have your life. We have our life. We all kind of experience life through these personal experiences we have experienced through our parents and our people that we love, and we are influenced by them, and we are, kind of steered the wrong way because of them. And like, isn't that weird enough? Like, why is flat Earth weird to us? Because of the science or whatever?
Right.
like,
Listen, I'm
not trying to go down that road, but I'm just saying, like, it's weird to me. But like, everything that we are experiencing now is weird enough. Like, why is everything beyond that so strange? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you think of, okay, yeah, we're having a podcast right now. We're human beings. We're like really having a good time. Like, why is it weird to bring up religion? And why is breaking outside of Christianity weird to some people?
So what I want to say is, I don't want to keep being redundant.
Because we're touching on a lot.
We've
right
been
now.
really going like the circumlocution where we're talking in circles.
For sure.
Shout out to the person who's followed this to the end. The real fan is going to last to the end.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. The real fan has heard us say the same shit 25 times.
And
But
they
that's
will continue
okay.
To hear it.
That's the real fan. is
I
gonna
want to
it.
hear it.
There's some
26.
people listening right now. So
Oh, I know that. Yeah.
But like where I want to go with this is like, it's all relevant. It's all relevant because that's life. Life is gonna be a fucked up. It's a circle.
nobody has the answers to.
Nobody has the answers.
But like I said, like, and I'm asking you now, it's like, what is this? What are we doing right now? We're on a sphere spinning how many miles per hour?
That's irrelevant.
Yeah, but like,
It's fast.
it's weird enough.
Fast. Yeah.
So like, what are we? What are we doing here? Someone who has spent their life.
I'm human.
Yes, someone who has spent their life. You contributed a big portion of your life to
Don't shoot. I'm human.
the Christianity cause of like, hey, you believe in it. Like that's the whole thing. Like you've spent your life, and to deny that is really telling the people who have raised you and the people before you that what they believe in is a lie. And to come out and you were one of the people who were like, you know, we might not agree on certain things, but for you to tell the people before you, like, hey, man, I don't agree with your ideas. Like, the family before you to say, like, hey, I don't agree with your ideas, you're kind of insulting them and telling them that the people before them was lying and that they're lying to you. So, like, that's a big move for someone who has built their whole life and has spent so much time into the Bible and really acknowledging that. And
that's heavy.
To turn around and say to the person that you love, your mom, your dad, and say that I don't believe what you have taught me. I don't believe what your parents have taught you. Because that's ultimately what Christianity is. It's like, it's kind of like not necessarily a cult.
It's passed down tradition.
It's a passed down tradition of
It's a family tradition.
Dang it.
in a way. It's like, man, to go against the grain like that, it takes
To go against the grain.
it takes fucking balls,
Like a
man.
brisket.
Or
Like a fuck, like sure.
or it takes balls or a cold heart. Like which one?
So what do you think
Both.
this is? What are we doing here? What are we fucking doing here? We're on the podcast. We're fucking.
What are we doing here? Well, it's
No,
1:11.
What? No,
a.m.
no.
So
What are we doing right now? Like,
So
what is this?
First off, I do have to say that, like, that's why I have so much respect for Christianity, because my family, dude, I was not mistreated growing up.
Okay.
Dude, my mom was the Proverbs 31 wife and mother. She was textbook, by the book example
You got to do the
of
cooking by
what
the book.
a godly mother should be. My father, like, I remember waking up here, like, this is about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, hearing my father read the Bible out loud
Really?
for his morning devotion. And, like, he didn't want anyone to know, but he read his Bible every day before work, and he's retired, and he still reads his Bible all the time.
And I want to be kind of clear here, like,
So,
there's
like, I just want to be clear that I am not intentionally shitting on their faith. But it was
I can see that.
extremely difficult.
Dude, you literally dedicated your life to a Christianity, and then you changed your mind. So, like, to me, there's a lot of beauty in that, of just finding your own way,
But I wish
talking to the people who mean a lot to you and who are close to you, and saying, "Hey, man, like, I don't agree with this." You know,
Saying, hey, man.
hey, man, listen here,
Hey,
buddy.
man. Like, what if the trees are really where we need to be? Look, the Beatles had it right. The Yellow
Listen,
Submarine.
Listen, my family has had.
Hey,
Listen,
man.
Hey, man, listen
look,
here, buddy.
you guys get to see the polished version of myself. You guys didn't have to experience
no,
me becoming me.
I see. it.
My
I see
family
it. I see
did.
it.
That is
You
the
know.
beauty of growth in life.
And
Sure.
The people
I
below.
love
the people
every
on-
member of my family so much.
Hey, cheers to family. Let's close it on that.
Well, I do feel like
He hasn't answered my question.
I
need to
didn't
know
fully,
why we're here.
Yeah, I had 3.
I need to know. I mean, there's nobody else who I know who can answer this question. So I'm
I also
asking
gotta
you,
say we do have one more beer left in the cooler,
why are we here?
and Sean's got an open beer or an empty beer
Beer.
in his hand.
No, this
Yeah. What about the one that's right in front of you?
We're not worried about that.
Yeah, we are.
The question was, why are we here?
Oh, there's another one.
To the
The
Crabman.
9.9.
Get a 9.9.
Hey!
You know we
You guys
do it
are
all
really-
the time, and you
What?
know why grind
I had
and
one. Yet.
shine.
I had drank it.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I had a tropical beer hug.
It's
Oh God, I love
that's the
opening
thing
beers.
that I think that, like,
How much you got?
I got like a
Finish it off.
that's a cold motherfucker.
All right. That'll be mine.
Dude, That's the ultimate thing I want to know is like, for someone who is really, that's what I like. We started this podcast.
I feel like we're being so fucking redundant right now.
Listen to me.
I've heard the same sentences 10 times in a row.
Listen,
by
that's
both of you guys.
Listen, that's your you're being self-conscious. Just let
No,
that
I'm
shit
not
go.
being self-conscious. I've heard the same
I
sentences.
think he might be on some shit.
I'm tired of hearing the same.
It doesn't
sentences.
matter. It
We're
doesn't
gonna
matter.
either change the subject.
What do you?
or,
Well, okay,
talk
let me
about it.
finish. Let me finish answering the question, and can I ask you guys a few questions?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, I tell you what, Joe Rogan ain't never had a 5-hour podcast.
because that shit gets redundant.
Who cares? Like
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Go ahead, ask the question.
Okay, so all right, I'm gonna answer the question, then I gotta ask it.
Okay.
So let me finish the question, the original question you asked at the very start.
Thank you.
All right, the third reason why the thing I questioned why I really didn't believe what I believe that I was afraid
That was a bad
like
burp.
address was that I mean we're pretty heavy in now, and if the verses run in together, I apologize, but I believe it is. It's in Romans 3:23, Romans 6:23. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life in Jesus Christ our Lord.
Okay.
Okay, so Romans. I want to say 6:1, but I also want to say 8:1. But basically, Jesus Christ had to die for our sins, for the substitutionary atonement for our sins. You know, sin angers God. Jesus Christ's death is the propitiation for, like a propitiation is like a gift. You know what I mean? Like say Heather not cleaning your room makes you angry. So she buys you a new PlayStation. So that new PlayStation is a propitiation for to appease your anger. So God hates sin.
It's rough.
So Jesus Christ is the propitiation, is the gift, that PlayStation, to appease God's anger. We're not even going to talk about the Trinity, how crazy that is, but he died for 3 days. He was dead for 3 days.
Okay.
Where's the body? Pause. I want to ask you this. So, if there's no body, like, how much did your Camaro cost? I know you love your Camaro.
$35,000.
$35,000.
Yep.
So
That
let's
was-
say,
Hold on. Can I pause for a second?
Yeah.
I slurred so bad.
You did
I appreciate you.
yeah, 35,000.
Again, I slurred. I appreciate you for. I also appreciate you for putting 2 beers on the same coaster.
You're
And
welcome.
have them on your hand.
respect.
I saw it.
Before we close this out,
We're not.
Oh.
He's not done with his question.
okay, go ahead.
So,
$35,000.
so the price of your Camaro is $35,000.
Right.
So I'm imagining, I don't know this. We've never talked about this. I feel like David Blaine right now. We've never talked about this. But have you
If you don't know
ever?
who David Blaine is, you need to look into that shit because those YouTube videos are fucking amazing.
Shout out David Blaine.
Hey, you know what?
Cheers.
I'll cheers to David Blaine. That shit's fucking
cheers.
phenomenal.
He's an OG.
Okay, David Blaine versus Chris Angel. Who's better?
I'm gonna go David.
David Blaine, absolutely.
I don't know. Chris
And
Angel.
Chris Angel ain't
and
shit.
I have no idea what the
Chris
fuck I'm
Angel is
talking about.
gimmicky. David Blaine's like, damn, how the fuck's he doing that?
Yeah, but David Blaine is kind of gimmicky too.
Oh, but it's
Dude,
like, how the
Magic-
fuck is he doing that?
We're talking about magic.
Yeah,
The Gathering?
No.
we could.
Okay, so 35,000.
Okay, all right.
Camaro.
So we've never talked about this. So I would imagine you went to your bank or credit union and talked to them,
Credit
hey,
union.
I want to buy this car It's $35,000. They gave you a $35,000 check. You took it.
I put down 10.
Okay. Regardless,
big spender, big money guy.
All right, so you took $25,000 check to where? Who'd you buy it from?
Your mother.
Like the Camaro. Who'd you
Oh,
buy?
the Chevy dealer.
All right, Chevy dealer. Okay.
It was Benson Chrysler.
So you took a $25,000 check.
What a dick.
$25,000. So you took a $25,000 check to Benson Chrysler. Okay. What if 3 days later what if that check didn't clear? 3 days
Sure.
later that check bounced.
Oh,
From the bank check. Yeah.
Okay, would you still own a Camaro?
Why would I? That doesn't make any sense. They wouldn't give it to me because the bank bounced the check.
Yeah, but technically you would have it because
No, I wouldn't have anything because the
but
bank.
it didn't bounce till 3 days later.
That's not what you said.
It cleared
10 seconds
originally, but then bounced 3 days later.
But it's still the bank's problem.
But do you own a Camaro?
Well, no, I didn't.
In this
no,
scenario.
I never owned. I didn't. Regardless, if it cleared, I didn't own a Camaro.
Okay. So this is my third point
Okay, listen.
of, which was originally my second point, that I couldn't, I was afraid to address,
Okay.
was
Don't be afraid.
Jesus Christ was the propitiation for our sins. He was the price. He was the substitutionary atonement for our sins. He was to appease God's anger. When Adam and Eve sinned, their eyes were opened. They had to kill the lamb. And the lambs or / goat, they had to kill an innocent animal to clothe them because they originally covered themselves with fig leaves. Okay. So Jesus Christ, if he died on the cross, it would have been enough. He would have not had to have been raised from the dead. So if he was raised from the dead,
That actually makes a little bit of sense.
he didn't technically die. Does that make
Makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So what's the point in saying that?
So basically, the $35,000 check or the $25,000 check in this illustration, 3 days later, it bounced. It was taken back because he no longer died because he was raised from the dead.
I don't really see the analogy.
You don't really see, like
I get it.
I think it's a bad analogy.
the wages of sin is death.
Sure. He suffered and
The
fucking
price-
got beat to death.
The price of sin is death. But the
I
gift-
didn't suffer and get beat to death.
You didn't.
I got a question though.
Because you
Like,
couldn't. Because
you
your
really
life
gonna
wasn't
send
good
your
enough.
son down there to get beat up like that?
Yeah, everybody told me that.
Okay,
That's a completely different conversation.
Okay.
it is. But
That is
But
fucking- we
we're
can go
going down this
forever
road
about that.
because I got some questions for you because I've been wanting to go down this road. It's like,
Yep.
can we hear some? Can we acknowledge some of the fucked up stories in the Bible? Because I know you
Give
know
an
all of
example.
them.
Which one? Dude, I can give you one.
What was
Not you, him.
No, was it Abraham who
Lincoln?
what-
That was
no,
the
no,
guy.
no.
That was the guy that we watched choke out Charles
Abram.
Oliveira earlier. right?
Abram, who later changed his name to Abraham.
Okay, who was the guy who who was like, yeah, I'll kill my kids for you.
No, it was Abraham.
I'll kill my kids for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're really gonna make a
pure
person
faith.
go to the brink of
Faith.
killing their kids for you?
He didn't make him do anything.
Are you really that shitty of a person to like?
Well, no, because he's a god.
Yeah, I'm asking it. Like, if you're a god, you're a shitty god. I'm gonna be honest. We all know that.
Read the Book of Enoch.
There's multiple reasons for that.
I strongly encourage anyone watching.
Can I get a
At this
top
point-
three
Can I
crazy?
get a hoya?
Can I get a top three?
yeah.
Can I get a
Hey,
top?
kids.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
hit me with your top three craziest stories in the Bible right now.
This is like a countdown list.
Okay.
I'm limited. I'll give
Number
them,
one. I know you guys like the top. You know, like the top,
Yeah, we're a list guys.
Countdown. Dude, fuck the time. Okay? Dude, we're past the time.
Thank you.
Can we just move on?
Well, I don't
Like, this is
I don't
past-
understand why you're saying that.
It's the longest
I
podcast.
saw
in
you look
Brew
at
College
the. I
history.
saw you look at the time and like.
No, I was trying to burp.
Okay. Well, I apologize for judging
Thank you.
Okay,
And I also have to
so
piss.
I don't think that. Go ahead.
top
Don't-
three
don't
stories.
do this right
Who
now.
has to piss?
I'm good. We're about to close this.
I mean, I'll hold it out.
Okay,
Are we?
Do-
It's top to,
Do we want to close on the top
Top
three craziest
top
stories?
3. That's why I live in. I didn't want.
Hey, we're about to close this out. So
Okay,
His
okay,
words, not
okay.
mine.
Can I pull it back?
no, his words, not
finish?
mine. I didn't say
Just
it. He
lean
did.
it. Just go all in, dude.
Basically, if Jesus Christ died, the payment for sin was paid. If he was resurrected, the payment was returned. So, if he was resurrected, the entire Christian faith is a lie.
No, hold on. I don't
If-
think you understand. Listen to me.
I'm
He
gonna
got-
I'm gonna
he
get
got-
to your
look,
question. I'm
look.
gonna answer your question in a second.
He
I'll
got
go ahead.
punished and he died, right?
He didn't get punished. He lived a
Yeah,
perfect
yeah.
life.
But no, he lived a
So
perfect life
funny.
because he never sinned.
He said,
Never sinned.
He said, God, please let
He got
this
cup punished physically.
pass from me.
Did you say cut?
Please. Yeah. In the Garden of Gethsemane, he begged God, please, God, do not let your wrath fall upon me. Before he was crucified, before he was sold by Judas.
Because you know what hurt?
What?
The whips and such.
It definitely hurt.
Yeah. Oh, dude. And like, if Jesus is God, he knows this is happening.
So hear me out.
And I'm not addressing.
No, hold on. Hear me out. Imagine paying the loan, and then someone's like, "Yeah, we're gonna give it back to someone else." That is what it.
Dude,
seems like to me.
okay. I'm going back to your Camaro. Do you own that car?
I do. I paid it off like a year and a half ago.
Okay. You're letting
Yeah,
your
you really was not
Listen.
planning for that one. I know.
you paid it off. How did you pay it off?
With money.
With money. Okay, it was paid off with money. The price of a Camaro was $35,000. You paid $10,000 at the start and $25,000 over time. Now it is yours.
It is mine.
It's definitely his.
The wages of sin is death.
Sure.
Okay,
I'm gonna sell my Camaro here
but the
soon.
gift of God is eternal life through
Get
Jesus
some money
Christ
off
our
that
Lord.
bitch.
Okay, hold on.
So if Jesus Christ,
Basically, what
is
you're saying
the-
is my Camaro is Jesus Christ.
no, I'm saying the price of a Camaro is $35,000.
Yes.
The wages of sin, the price of sin is death. Who dies? Jesus died for your sins.
Sure. Yes.
Okay? But he was raised from the dead. What happens if you paid $35,000 for your Camaro day one at CarMax, and then you
Benson Chrysler.
to Benson Chrysler?
There you go.
Sorry.
Greer.
Cheers, CarMax.
No, I'm not doing that.
So anyway,
Who's talking?
so the wages of sin is death. So the price of sin is death. So Jesus Christ died. Okay? If he
He did.
rose from the dead, the price was not paid.
The price was not Fisher.
I see where you're coming from, and it makes sense.
The
No,
price was not paid.
Yeah.
So
I think the price was paid, and then I think they were like, "Oh man, he died. Good." And then after that, they were like,
I'm
yeah,
back.
got you. I'm Jesus."
I don't know about
That's
that
some
shit.
impressive arms.
No,
I don't know about that shit,
It was,
bro.
it was actually the shirt.
It was the Fisher Price shirt. I've been on it
Fisher
since
Price
fucking
Hashtag-
3 hours ago.
Hashtag Eddie Bravo.
Yeah.
See, he didn't say it. Birthday
I've been
gift.
on the fucking Fisher
Birthday
Price shirt
gift
for a
from the
while.
Crabman.
That was good.
Oh, it was a birthday gift from the Crabman.
so
King Crab.
and to wrap this all up.
We're wrapping it up now.
Well, no.
We don't have
I,
to. We can keep going.
I had to ask. I had to answer another question.
Whose question?
It was your question.
All right, I got a piss.
Yeah.
You answer it.
Yeah, to like wrap this all up. What
What are we wrapping
what are we doing here? What is all this? if you don't believe in that, which you've spent your like a lot of your time studying, and you really understand better than anyone I know, what are we doing here? What is this? And like people will sit here and they might like listeners might think like, okay, this is crazy for not believing in Jesus Christ or whatever, but isn't spinning on this like sphere crazy? And like isn't like a black hole crazy? Like what is all this? Like this is madness to all of us,
dude. We're like that's one like I just gotta say we're about 20 to 24 to 25 beers in. Would you agree with that?
Oh, we've drank a fucking lot. Yeah. I mean, I started drinking it like when my first beer I was down before you walked into the slice. And
Please do not try this at home.
It's a lot to take in. And
I mean,
it's an experience to do
who
this.
can have a religious / philosophical conversation with that many beers?
It's a lot to take in.
I mean, no, for real.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people going to be watching it. I mean, like, if they make it this long, there's going to be a lot of people that just like,
they're going
to bail out.
Yeah, that's fine.
But the guys who made it.
Thank you.
You know what? I think, who do you think is going to make it? Of the listeners listen.
I don't know, man.
Like we don't know who all listens.
No, it's just hard. I don't know.
But I'm
thankful for whoever listens, whoever even
Nutswinger
starts.
Makes it the distance.
Yeah, that's an OG for sure.
Hey.
Cheers to him.
Nutswinger.
Yeah, cheers to him. Yeah, it's fun, man. It's fun. We've talked about who we want to have on the podcast next, and we got some guys in mind. We definitely want to have you as a regular. We want to have you, a couple times a year pop in, for the fans.
At least once a year.
I kind of want more than that, but
it's like candy corn. You don't, what I mean? Like you think you want more until you like have that like fourth bite, and you're like, this is a bad idea.
The sweetness can only go so far. Is that what you're saying?
No. Candy corn. It's what I think holds candy corn back is the consistency.
Okay. What you mean by that?
Dude, it's like I don't know. It's like solid tart and sugar.
It's too much. I'm not a sweet guy. I don't do like donuts and fucking lattes and whatever it is. I don't really do sweet like that. What about you guys?
You know what I think is a finger to the Joe Rogan experience?
What's that?
I think the Joe Rogan experience paved the way for 3-hour podcasts.
What kind of finger?
I think the finger to Joe Rogan
Who's
is
getting
to
fingers?
do a 6-hour podcast.
Tell the next generation a big fuck you.
I think the finger to JRE, the JRE Nation, is a
6-hour podcast.
6-hour podcast.
Let's do it.
Yeah. How long are we right now?
3:30.
Damn.
It's the longest in Brew Collar history.
But like, I think that's like an average JRE.
Yeah.
I would say not average.
it's
I would
pretty-
say average is probably like 225.
The average is probably like 245.
But like
3
when
hours.
you see like
Yeah.
a 3 or 4 hour podcast of JRE,
He's legit.
you know it's gonna be
Yeah,
good.
that's legit.
Who was it? Was it Sam Chung? Like the painter?
Oh, you're talking about dude. He was very strange because he was very
That's
down on himself. Like
that
Asian
very-
guy.
The
Yeah.
Asian guy that
That's
gave him
where
the
it's
shirt.
good. It's an Asian guy,
Yeah.
and I think it's very easy.
I don't like how down on himself.
That's
he
where
was.
it's very good.
No,
But I will say
no.
it was very
No,
entertaining.
but like I'm telling you, for the Orientals I know, and I'm saying this.
Can you
from
describe
my-
Oriental to me?
Oriental is anybody, and I'm going to throw Indians in this. South Asia, North Asia. I guess that's more Russia. So I'm going to leave North Asia out. So I'm just going to leave China to India as the people I'm talking about. But they are extremely self-critical and they are pursuing perfection, like to the utmost. And I'm not going to ask you to respond.
Have you ever
have seen the
pursued?
game.
Okay, so
I'm not gonna respond.
have you ever
I'll-
pursued?
Hashtag foreskin.
Sometimes you gotta just tuck it all in. You know?
Hashtag foreskin.
Hashtag.
Have you ever pursued perfection in anything?
Yes. No, like I am 286 pounds right now.
Okay.
When I was full throttle in Christianity, I was 190 pounds. I ran like 10 miles a day.
Was your dick the same size? Because that shit's fat.
Okay, let's be honest. Okay, so before we, this motherfucker, let me tell you, he looks at me and we're watching the games or what were we watching? We was watching something.
No, I think it was a fight.
Anyway, so like I'm sitting
early
on
cards.
yeah, and
at
I'm
like 2 o'clock.
and he goes, "Hey man," he looks at me and goes, the Crabman looks at me and goes, "Hey man, are you good with seeing like nudity and stuff?" And I'm like, "Damn, I guess I gotta see this motherfucker's penis. I guess I just gotta see it. All right, yeah, I'm good, yeah."
To you, Paris.
And he shows me this this picture of him in like this hallway, like this doorway, and it's like down to his knees. And I was like, "Fucking good for you, dude. I'm good for you, dude." Like, damn, is that really it? Holy shit, it looks so legit. And I feel like by this time it comes out, we need to send that to at least somebody that we know before he finds out about how fake it is.
I'm going to send it to. I'm going to send it. I'm going to send it to Nut Swinger right now.
Hell
Say,
yeah.
how about them game cocks?
How about them cocks?
Let's go, Shane Beamer.
Hey, you know what? This is a good way to end it. Cheers to Shane fucking Beamer.
Shane Beamer.
It's been great, man.
Have I answered all the questions?
I feel like you have. I feel like we've kind of, at least I have pushed a lot of things that I feel like you've answered and, or at least danced around.
I had a few questions. They were answered. They were, honestly, I mean, I say that's not enough. I had a few questions and they were answered, and then you made me ask more questions with your answers, and I had more questions, and you answered those too.
See,
It's
two
been-
more beers.
It's been such a long day, dude. Like we started at what 11.
I see two more beers, and I have more questions to ask you two.
Well, you know
ask
what?
us some
You know-
questions.
you know
What's
the
up, man? How you feeling?
So, like, I think the audience wants to know more about you guys. Can I be the
Please.
interviewer? Yeah,
Please.
I feel like you guys have
We've had our time.
God damn, have badgered me enough.
Sorry, man. It's just how I am.
Hang on, let me send.
Yeah, ask away.
Let me send.
Do you have questions or do you have texts to send?
That's a good question.
Which one is it? Because it doesn't sound like you're very committed right now.
Can I?
You're losing me.
Okay. Well, I'll send it later.
Oh,
I mean,
are you sure? Because which one do you prioritize?
He asked good questions. Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. All right. Where do you? And like, I didn't prepare this beforehand.
Okay, we're listening. We're listening.
And like Kevin Newsom and Kevin Newsom's, I feel like Kevin Newsom gets enough credit. I don't think Kevin Newsom's, wife gets enough. So where do you feel
That's fair.
you fall in when it comes to what you believe?
I'm not sure what you mean by that question. That was
Well,
okay. It was too vague.
Kevin,
was
my
vague.
goal is not
Can
to
you pass me
persuade
that water,
anyone.
please? It was a vague question.
It was a vague question.
Okay, like earlier you said you don't know where you stand on Christianity or
Okay.
if you're a pagan. But to answer your question from earlier, I'm definitely a pagan. You know, like I don't
Okay.
believe in Christianity.
So, can you define
I-
paganism to the crowd?
So I would define paganism as someone who rejects Judeo-Christianity as a
general.
whole.
Okay. I like that.
To
Okay.
answer your question, man,
So where do
I
you,
think you're right.
Where
I
do
think-
you stand right now?
As far as like religion,
Yeah.
because
Because J.I. Packer, a guy I mentioned earlier
okay.
that you scoffed at,
Todd.
he says the most important
Packer.
the most important question you can ask a man is what is his view on God. So I'm going to rephrase that and just basically like, you know what, I'm going to make it a little easier on you. What is your view on God right now?
Oh, well, I'll make it easy on you. As I said before, I believe that I'm agnostic. I'm not exactly sure how I don't view Christianity as the all knowing, but I think there is a God for sure. But I don't think Christianity to a T is like what God is. If that makes sense.
If you're 23 and you can honestly answer that, I feel like you are headed in the right direction.
Well, I am 23, and I just answered that, so I appreciate
Hey,
that.
you're heading in the right direction. Hell yeah.
Direction.
Direction.
The direction.
Yeah. No, seriously though, like
Spinal.
spine.
Okay, I got a different question for my man Shawn.
Okay,
'cause
what's
he's
up,
30.
man?
He gets a little harder question.
What it
That
is,
old
what it is.
fuck.
What's up? It's your boy. What's up?
Simulation theory. Let's hear it.
Okay, listen, man. Let's be honest. Religion seems man-made to me. Like, it seems like a reason to try to dominate in a peaceful way for like world dominance. Like, for a way to win, you can like a way to establish.
How
world-
did you alpha both of my green teas?
That's a good question. I have no idea. I was wondering that the same. In a way to establish world dominance, you have multiple paths in that, which I think is a very common thing set back in the day. It's like to establish world dominance, you can create a religion of like kind of like a cult aspect of like, let's have everybody believe in what I believe in. And they want to kind of establish world dominance versus religion versus like a war aspect. Like there's multiple ways to establish world dominance. And I think there's like, and now you're starting to see like a more like cyber aspect to it with like TikTok and like Russian troll farms or whatever it is. Like you start to see more of like a internet style of trying to dominate, to have world dominance. And I think that there is something, there to where like religion does, it is a way to try to establish world dominance. And that's why cults exist, because they, in their little community, they can establish like a sense of, there's that person who wants dominance, and then they bring on this, hey, everybody, like this is a sense of belonging, a sense of like, hey, like they try to rope as many people as they can in, and to me, religion seems like something that's a cult that their leader has died. Like you look at Mormonism that has come on, kind of.
Shout out Joseph Smith.
Joseph Smith, who we don't have to get into that, man. We know.
Dum.
No, I was just saying shout out
South
Joseph
Park.
Smith.
But like, isn't that a way of like trying to establish world dominance in a way, like in a peaceful way?
I think he was a 13-year-old kid who wanted to be heard and made up some shit with the golden tablets.
That's fair.
And the
It's
angel
like some
moron.
genius shit.
And the no.
fair.
Joseph Smith was intelligent,
But like,
but I mean, I truly believe he made up the angel moron.
but there's some beauty into like religion. Like there's a lot of like keeping up with the Joneses on every Sunday, going to church and being judged and listen to the whispers, listen to the chirps and stuff. Like that's kind of like a negative aspect of the church.
Can
but
I tell you a funny story?
1 second.
Okay.
But like keep like that whole aspect, like that whole side of like Christianity in the church, like I can't get behind that. But there is a lot of beauty in religion, even if you don't necessarily agree with it, and that's there's a lot of good morals and a lot of good things that like you can, if you do set aside like the negative aspects of any religion, not necessarily Christianity, but any religion. And that's like good morals and just like how to be a decent human being that I think that kind of flies under the radar. Like there's some good aspects of Christianity or religion that's like, hey man, you can really learn to love thy neighbor. You don't have to take in like maybe it's we all know that Christianity kind of shits on gay people, gay marriage. Like you don't have to take that in. You know what I'm saying? Like you can really learn a lot of good things from religion and Christianity, or not even necessarily Christianity, but like religion, even like any kind of religion. Like there's good morals in that, to where you can take those and push out those, like every Sunday. Keeping up with the Joneses bullshit that white people push, or whatever it is, that might not necessarily be white people, but like we all know, we've all been to church on Sunday where it just seems fake as fuck, man.
Dude, you have no.
I mean, you know more than me. You dedicated half your life to it, so like,
dude, I called out an entire youth group and called out 3 individuals to be sent home while I was preaching a message.
But don't you think there is some beauty to there is beauty with Christianity or religion? Like there is good morals that what these cults or religions are found upon, like you can actually get some beauty out of that. There is something there. Where it's
absolutely.
A reason to live, or a reason, there's good foundations there.
Think? Any beauty in religion?
I think so. For sure.
There's obviously beauty in religion.
Yeah, I mean that's why it's a thing.
But it's kind of a redundant conversation that we've had.
But I'm going to say it, and it's going to be offensive. But to the simple-minded, yes. But to the person who processes everything, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. It's going to be a little just. I'm
not saying you should really lean into it. I'm just saying that.
If you have a simple mind, and you have a simple mind, and all you care about is Bud Light and fucking country boots
you wore those here.
Those are work.
You did wear.
No,
country
you
boots
wore
here.
country boots here.
You did wear.
They were
country
clean.
Boots they were clean.
That's how they're not work boots.
No, but I'm a supervisor, so
yeah.
They were still.
Like I said, country
clean.
boots.
Like I said, clean.
They're work boots for a supervisor.
Not for you.
Hashtag B shift.
Amen. It's I think
shout out B shift.
I do think there's some beauty into religion, and I to be honest, I wish I could follow something that close and really believe into a higher power that much. But it's just, to be honest, that's just not the way it is. I think I don't.
Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, to answer your question that you was about to ask, I would agree with Bryant. I don't think anybody knows. I think that everybody's lying to themselves if they think they know while we're here.
And I think that's a great way to end the podcast.
No, I think a great way to end the podcast.
I think that's a great way to end the podcast.
Is to explain the characters over here and what they mean to you.
Oh, okay, the bobbleheads. Okay, I'll start from my side. I don't know. This is Bryant's for right here. I don't know where this comes
Explain
from.
it. That's you.
I don't know. I don't know this. I don't know this. You tell me. Okay, Gronkowski. We all know I'm a Patriots fan.
You don't know the skull?
I do know the skull. I bought it.
Yeah. Well, tell us why. I mean, that's number one. Tell us why you.
So me and Gabby were in Pigeon Forge, and we went to this little place called the. It was like a man cave in Pigeon Forge.
We still have one beer left. You need to finish.
It was a man cave in Pigeon Forge. Union Coaster. It was a man cave in Pigeon Forge where there was like a bunch of those fucking skulls, and that's actually where I got the Camaro sign here. But
that's not a poser sign. You actually own a Camaro.
I do, but that's where the skull
biblically, because he's paid it off.
I have, yeah, exactly. But the skulls there was like one with the mohawk and the earring, and there was one with the fucking headphones. And so we bought a couple of them, but it was a cool skull, so that's why we bought it.
Okay.
And then Gronkowski, like I said, we all know I'm a huge Patriots fan.
Yes, you are.
From day one. And then this is, I bought this for Bryant because he's a big American Psycho fan. This is Christian Bale.
Yeah, Patrick Bateman.
Yeah,
good character.
He's got the trench coat on. He's got the axe, the lumberjack axe.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah, and then this one is Kevin Malone. I don't know if you know The Office, but we're big Office fans around here. And he's
what is it? What's that quote? Why use many words when few words do trick?
Exactly.
Why use lot
Couldn't
word?
say it better
when few-
myself.
Why
That's
use
it,
lot
lot,
word
yeah.
when few word do trick?
Now, the two bobbleheads here, he actually got an amazing deal on these bobbleheads because
Is that Prince?
this is a good
Got to
question.
be Prince.
This is
Yeah,
this
it's
Jimi
Prince.
Hendrix.
Yeah, it's Prince.
It's Prince. Yeah.
It's got to be Prince, right?
It's Prince. Yeah.
And then this is Don Corleone.
Purple
Or, no.
Rain.
This is this is the Godfather right here. And then this,
Okay, so what's this little guy right here?
oh,
A little
him.
people.
Oh, that's Paul Stanley from
sorry.
Kiss.
Okay,
Chris
I missed
Paul.
him. Yeah, Chris. That's Chris Paul. 30 assists.
I
That's
did-
Bruce Chris.
All I saw was the backside.
And
That's
then
Bruce Chris.
This
Little
one way over there. I wish I could get some help from
This
the
one?
counterpart
The
here.
Banjo Kazooie.
This guy right here, yes, Banjo Kazooie.
Yeah,
that's,
needs no introduction.
Yeah, Banjo Kazooie.
No, that's Crash Bandicoot from
Crash
PS1 back in the
Bandicoot,
90s. Who's the OG?
And this guy right here is Leatherface.
He's
if you
cut.
know
He's
him.
cut some motherfuckers up.
What? Okay, what Leatherface is he from? I mean, I need to know what Texas Chainsaw Massacre is he from.
Any of
Whichever
them.
one you want him to be.
It's
I
a
mean,
fucking-
the
it's a-
only
it's a
one
Funko
that
Pop.
messed me up was the one that, like, in the early 2000s.
But this is a Funko Pop, so it could be any of the ones you want.
Yeah, and
You
then
you desire what you want to get.
and then this is a Christmas gift from me to
Your brother.
your brother, and it's don't go in there after me. This is
My
actually
brother or your brother?
mine. This is a Dundee Award from The Office, and I gave it to him, and it says "Don't go in there after me" award. So I've walked into this motherfucker shit, and he walked out, and then
I
I
do be
walk in
shitting.
to use the bathroom, and it stank like shit. So I was like, "Yeah, this is a good award for him. Don't go in there after me. It's a good Dundee." Makes sense, right? So yeah, we keep it OG in this motherfucker.
So what's the total kind of beers you think we drank total?
I have
Today?
no idea.
Over 10 or 12. I mean, it's
Over
been
10 or 12. I'm thinking over
yeah,
25.
it's been a
'Cause, I mean,
all
we're talking about a
together,
piece.
total. Yeah, it's definitely 30ish, 30.
We're talking about a piece.
no. I'm talking about all together.
Oh,
all
yeah.
together over 30 for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, that's
I'm thinking
accurate.
closer to
It's
40.
been fun, man.
It has been. It's been a good time.
Hey.
Cheers, y'all. We don't fist bump. We cheers.
Oh, yeah.
It took us a while to get here, man. And
But we needed to. This is the first guest.
first guess,
John Michael, pressure's not going to be on you as much. I didn't get to tell you the gift I gave John Michael.
what was it?
It was a signed Debo Samuel picture. Plaquette.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's awesome.
Fuck yeah, man. Hey, but we appreciate all the viewers.
If you made it this far, thank you for listening.
But yeah, if you made it this far, I hope you sleep good tonight because
Yeah.
that puts you to sleep.
Hell no. That's a good podcast.
It was,
really
man.
was.
I appreciate you guys.
I enjoyed it.
Hey,
There was some times where I got a little too fucked up in the middle, and I was like,
Came back home.
I came back. I brought it back. Yeah, I was like, damn, dude, I'm really holding on. Like, I'm really trying to keep it on the train's about to go off the rails, and I'm like, and I held on to it, and kind of brought it back and tried to,
All right.
Make a little
sign
sound.
off.
dude.
It's been
Hey,
good. It's
before
been
we
good. It's
before
been
we
good,
go,
everybody.
man, if you have literally listened to this far, like you made it this far, thank you for listening. If you're a fan, like and subscribe. Even if you're listening to Spotify, switch over to YouTube. Give us a like and subscribe. It really goes a long way. And we're gonna try to get more guests on this podcast coming up.
even though our guest just walked out of the room.
He did. He's about to probably throw up on himself. But it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm excited. We are excited to be here.
We're gonna keep growing. That's how it
We're
goes.
gonna keep growing. So
Hey, it's good seeing you guys. Hey,
shout out
cheers-
to
cheers,
the
man.
to the Brew Collar fans and
the hobos.
To the hobos.
Cheers.
It's been fun.
It has
and,
been.
We love you guys. We really love you guys. Thank you so much for the support. And
We'll see you next week.
yeah,
Cheers.
cheers.